This game is going to be 4 quarters.
Stay together. Play your game. Protect each other.
Let's go. Monday night. Yeah. You know what we going to do? Monday night.
It all comes down to Monday night. It all comes down to Monday night.
And a pleasure to spend this Monday night in the great Northwest CenturyLink Field in Seattle. The fans known so well, they are called the 12th man. And for the last 9 years, they've been having somebody with relevance to the community or to the team raise the flag in honor of the 12th man. And it's our colleague Trent Dilfer tonight, who took the very first snap as a quarterback in this stadium. Played for the Seahawks for 4 years. That has the fans going as we send it down to the sideline. And Lisa Salton.
Hey, Mike. Well, Seattle's 12th man makes this one of the toughest places to play for a road team just because it is so loud. But Aaron Rodgers runs so much of the Packers offense using hand signals, so it shouldn't be a problem, right? Well, what if the Seahawks know what his hand signals are? That's a very real possibility tonight, considering that Rodgers' backup for the last 4 years and good friend Matt Flynn is now wearing a Seahawks uniform. Flynn is the guy that many people thought would be the starting quarterback tonight when the schedule came out. He told him he circled this game on the schedule, was looking forward to it, and then he got beat out by Russell Wilson. But though disappointed, he's doing whatever he can to help his team win. This week in practice, he simulated Rodgers and gave the defense a heads up on where he likes to put the ball, his tendencies, and of course those hand signals. But Rodgers told us he's not worried about it. He said he told Flynn this week, I know you're probably going to give him some stuff, and I want you to know that I know that you're probably going to give him some stuff, so good luck with that, right?
Good luck to you. Good luck to everybody. If they stay in the game, it stays super loud. Green Bay won the toss, deferred. Seattle receives. That means Leon Washington, sensational kick returner, set to bring it back. 7 in history, one shy of Joshua Cribbs. Off we go with a lot of friends along the way from Seattle, and Mason Crosby takes it all the way through. A bunch of Packer fans here as well. Touchback. Washington sprints to the sideline, and coming out to the field is Russell Wilson, 75th pick in the draft. He played at North Carolina State for 3 years. His baseball career was going on. He's been drafted by the Colorado Rockies, his second baseman. So NC State didn't have a home for him. He went back to Wisconsin, took them to the Rose Bowl. He has off-the-charts intangibles. You talk to everyone around NC State or Wisconsin or these Seahawks, and they say, this guy is too good to be true. His third start begins at the 20-yard line. First play, first run, Marshawn Lynch. For about 4 yards to the 24-yard line. It's a Seattle offense that hasn't had a lot of yards. They've run as much as they pass so far. And when you talk about them, it's going to be, as John said in the beginning, a lot of Marshawn Lynch. Their receiving core needs to make some big plays. That's Sidney Rice, off injured, former Minnesota Viking. Doug Baldwin, leading receiver last year, he's out tonight with a shoulder injury. So someone's going to have to make some big plays to help this young quarterback. After a gain of 4, here goes Lynch trying the other side. 4 more to the 28-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 2, John.
Well, you don't see back-to-back runs in pro football anymore, Mike. I just want to remind our fans that is legal. You can still move the ball on the ground. And that's what they want to do, create some third down and short, third down and medium situations. You're going to see a lot of 3 tight end sets tonight. They're going to try to reduce the Packers' defensive package. Keep an eye on the tight end usage of the Seahawks tonight.
And then here now in 3rd and 2, they go 4 receivers and the back Lynch. That's a false start. Usually the false starts are against the road offense.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
There's no excuse for this. They had 3 false starts in their first game on Okun, and they're back to it right here early in the game on 3rd down and 2. You're playing at home. The noise shouldn't affect you. And Russell Okun, he has to get with it. with the pre-snap penalties. That's 4 of them already. He didn't even play last week.
And he's looking at Clay Matthews on that last penalty. Now Matthews moves over to the opposite side as they empty the backfield, go with 5 wide receivers on 3rd and 7. Wilson, who has good escapability, got away from Matthews, threw it out of bounds. The pressure from Clay forces the 3 and out, but the flag down back there as they were protecting here Wilson. That is not a flag. It was just a yellow bit off the Packer uniform. Matthews picked it up, no flag.
Well, Clay Matthews in this psycho package, they line him up everywhere. This time it's over the right guard, Moffitt, on a stunt, chasing down Russell Wilson. Matthews knows Russell Wilson can run. He reminded us loud and clear, so can he. Great get-off by Green Bay. Costly penalty by Seattle.
Former Packer John Ryan kicking to Randall Cobb. Try to kick him toward the sideline with hang time. That was well done. Fair caught at the 35-yard line. The kick was 42 with no return. Here comes the reigning most valuable player in the National Football League, Aaron Rodgers. At Packer offense, you know, John, Jermichael Finley and Greg Jennings both hurt in training camp, so a little bit of the timing off, and Rodgers' numbers better against the Bears, but still hasn't been phenomenal just yet.
Played 2 very good teams. Chicago, remember, was a short week. Keep an eye on Cedric Benson, number 32, the new feature back. And 37-year-old Jeff Saturday, his communication in this noise will be critical.
First down, Rodgers. First couple of looks covered, taken off, as he's done so often in his career. 17-yard scramble on the first down.
64 games as a starter. He's rushed for 88 first downs. Rodgers breaks your back. Coverage is perfect down the field. He has a tremendous sense of when to scramble and where to scramble. Huge first down. Rodgers, he can really break you down with his legs.
Here comes the boom from Aaron Rodgers. Officially 16 on the gain into Seahawks territory. Running out of the eye, it's play action, and Rodgers goes underneath to Cedric Benson, now the lead back. K.J. Wright with the tackle, and it's a very minimal gain.
K.J. Wright, a very good young linebacker, sees that screen all the way, and when he saw Rodgers look to Benson, he shot his gun and made a nice open field tackle.
You mentioned 18, Randall Cobb. We're going to keep an eye on him tonight. Jennings had a groin injury, missed the Chicago game. Didn't have a great practice earlier in the week, but was solid in practice the last couple of days. But Mike McCarthy felt good about his number 1 threat, 85 at the top of the screen. So it's Benson, the former Bear and former Bengal, to the left, and it's 3rd down coming up on good Red Bryant defense, that big old defensive end.
You know, Cedric Benson, Mike, 29 years old. He was a man without a country for a while. Green Bay called him. They needed a professional back to come in here. He's picked the offense up well. 29 carries coming in here tonight. Only a 3.5-yard average. They need Benson to break some runs here to get this running game going.
He's out. John Kuhn's the back, 3rd and 10. Good pressure by the first-round pick. Bruce Irvin sacking Rodgers.
Pete Carroll told us it's just a matter of time before Bruce Irvin impacts the game. Watch this power rush. Unbelievable display of get off and power. Watch what he does with his inside arm. He just tosses the right tackle of the Green Bay Packers out of the way and makes a sack. That's his first full career sack. You got him and Clemens working on other sides. That's impressive.
He ate up Brian Bulaga there. Great pressure on the Tim Mastey punt. He got it away. It'll be downed inside the 10 by the Packers as M.D. Jennings got down there in coverage. Pete Carroll loves defense, loves the pressure off the edge. The first fist bump of the night from the Seahawks sideline. Some good familiar sights in this city where rain has not been plentiful this summer. 68 degrees, no threat of precipitation here tonight. Second drive now for Seattle, beginning inside their own 10-yard line. And again, they'll empty the backfield. From the 9 against this Packer defense, Wilson throws complete. A couple of yards shy of the first down as DJ Smith tackles Ben Obamanu.
Let's go back to Seattle. What they're doing offensively, Mike, multiple tight end sets. That time 2 tight ends, 2 backs, strange shift. When you use multiple tight ends, it's a hard formation to blitz, and they're going to try to reduce Dom Capers' blitz package by the use of these tight ends.
It's Darrell Bevel, who was with Brett Favre and Tavares Jackson, that group in Minnesota. Now, his second year here as the coordinator. That quick throw to Charlie Martin on the edge, tackled by A.J. Hawk for the first down at the 28-yard line.
A lot of these running plays in Seattle have built-in hots in the running game. And when you get a loaded box and you have one-on-one coverage on the outside, Russell Wilson isn't handing it off. He's going to abort the running play and throw the ball on the perimeter. They're going to keep doing that as many times as Green Bay loads the box tonight to stop Marshawn Lynch.
We talk about Wilson's size at 5'10" and 5'8". Charles Woodson jumping up, trying to get in his way on that throw. First down, play pass. Is caught by the tight end, Anthony McCoy, one of 3 tight ends you'll see tonight. And it's a gain of about 9. And, John, one thing with that size, when you can get out of the pocket, he's a very effective quarterback.
Yeah, I get so tired of the size thing, Mike. This is a reverse pivot, a little spider 2, wide banana on the corner. Good read by Russell Wilson. He has a tremendous knack for sensing passing lanes. He played behind a big offensive line his whole career in college. I don't see it as a problem.
Second and 1. Matthews coming in, trying to track it down, but Marshawn Lynch, as usual, able to make the first man miss to get a first down out at the 44-yard line, and B.J. Raji right away pulling Breno Giacomini, his former Packer teammate, who's now the Seattle offensive lineman, off the pile. Well, this defense of Green Bay, John said at the top, they've been better in their first 2 games, especially against Chicago. They've got more people up front. Nick Perry's the first-round pick who allowed Matthews to go to the other side, and Clay started the season with 6 sacks. When they're in the base defense with 4 defensive backs, former Heisman Trophy winner and Defensive Player of the Year, Charles Woodson's a safety now. And creeping in there on the opposite side of Wilson as a second pre-snap penalty is coming on the Hawks.
False start. Offense number 85. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Well, these players can throw their hands up in the air and complain about it all they want. Clearly a pre-snap penalty, and I think it's the 9th one Seattle has had, Mike, and this is the 9th quarter of the regular season. Inexcusable penalties. You do not want to fall behind in the down and distance with a rookie quarterback against a veteran defensive coordinator like Dom Capers.
First and 15, and Lynch able to run back to about the 45-yard line. C.J. Wilson makes the tackle as he gets the penalty yardage +1 on that carry.
I like those last 2 runs by Marshawn Lynch. It's one thing to have power. It's another thing to have elusiveness. And it's another thing when you have power and elusiveness. And that's a combination that Marshawn Lynch brings to this Seattle football team. It's impressive, and it'll last all night.
He gets so many unblocked yards. 4 carries early on, you see. Wilson taking a shot towards Sidney Rice. Flags down in the middle of the field. That pass is incomplete. Sam Shields was covering on Rice, but a holding flag is being called back in the middle of the field.
Holding. Defense number 21. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Charles Woodson called for the penalty. Will give Seattle first down.
Charlie Martin in the slot, gets the outside release. No question. You can't drape that arm. They're calling it tight early in the game, Mike. I hope they don't call it tight throughout the night, because both of these defenses like sticky man-to-man coverage. I hope they let these guys play a little more than that.
Woodson his 15th year out of Michigan. Braylon Edwards his 8th year out of Michigan. Checks in for the Seahawks, number 17 for Seattle. Woodson chase throws it away as he was pursued and taken down by Eric Walden, who, John, was out for the first game because of suspension, but he's made a good impact the last few games.
Well, I think, Mike, Seattle needs to find some receivers that can beat man-to-man coverage. So far, Green Bay has gloved them. There have been no place for Russell Wilson to throw the football. They brought in some veterans here, Terrell Owens. They brought in Braylon Edwards. Mike Williams was here. They've given away some big contracts to big receivers. They got to start playing like big-time wideouts.
2nd and 10, back to Lynch with the fullback Michael Robinson leading the way. And Clay Matthews running away from him a lot, and he's doing a lot of chasing down. Gain of 6.
Well, it's just the effort this kid plays with. It's not just in passing situations. He's going to jump right over the pile to be a part of the tackle. Wherever the ball is, find number 52. And it's a trait I admire about him the most. He doesn't like to be called just an effort player either. He made that perfectly clear. He's a playmaker. He could play any position on this defense, he says.
He said, I line up at safety sometimes in practice. I think I can play back there. Get empty backfield, 3rd and 4. But Woodson creeping in the middle there, looking for a blitz straight up. It's picked up. Johnson's pass deflected by Jerron McMillan. That's the 4th-round pick, a rookie out of Maine. And, John, they've brought in some new players on this Packer defense, and these rookies are playing and doing a good job.
Really impressive. Great pickup by the Packers. Clean throwing lane. And Jerron McMillan continues to come on. Played 44 snaps last week against the Chicago Bears. A lot of people thought he was a run defender. He just showed he can play the pass, too.
2nd punt for John Ryan. Kick it end over end. Try to get the favorable bounce. Obamanu slides and downs it at the 1. 99 yards for the Packers to go. Obamanu stays in and touches. Tonight's game marking the NFL celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. Cultural exhibit of Hispanic heritage on display at Touchdown City, highlighting the impact of Hispanics on American society. So this Hispanic Heritage Month honored by the Seahawks tonight. 99 yards and a lot of noise facing the Packers offense back at their own 1. Rodgers will throw out of his own end zone for Jennings, broken up on the side. John, those corners you mentioned, Brandon Browner right there.
It takes a lot of guts to go up there and get Greg Jennings backed up on your 1-yard line with no help. 6'4", Brandon Browner takes it right to Jennings on a back shoulder fade. Look at him rake the ball out of Jennings' hands. Great play. They're going to challenge Aaron Rodgers all night. Throw it. Throw it at us. These corners, they will not back down. I expect Rodgers to keep trying them.
That big old 79 over there, 323-pound run stopper. Red Bryant for Seattle. Out of his own end zone, Rodgers complete to DJ Williams, the tight end. He'll get a 1st down up to the 12 as Leroy Hill makes the tackle.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is so good in the shotgun with the quick game, Mike. He gets rid of the ball quicker than any quarterback I've seen. Just a quick drag route to the right side, but that ball's gone. Very little lower body movement. And he's got a quick trigger.
2nd catch for Williams in his 2nd year out of Arkansas. Another throw. This is Jordy Nelson with Jennings blocking. Took a hit, went backwards. They're going to give him forward progress in a gain of 6. Earl Thomas, the safety, tackles him.
That's a 4-yard gain that Jordy Nelson earned. Nice blocking on the perimeter by Jennings, but you're going to see Earl Thomas flash from center field and make a nice open field tackle to make this just a 4-yard gain. And these Seahawks can run to the ball and hit. Great young safety.
The 18, Rodgers with a punt. Goes down. I think Rodgers got tangled with his own offensive lineman and then finally taken down with Brandon Mebane back there for the Seahawks.
Brandon Mebane, one of Rodgers' old teammates from California, on a little middle push, but I agree. I think Rodgers just slipped. I haven't seen that from the MVP. And this is where Seattle's dangerous. Remember, Bruce Irvin, number 51, just went after Brian Balaga earlier. These long yardage situations are where the Seahawks are at their best on defense.
Packer timeout, 3rd and 10 when we come back. His offense. Coach on the right is defense. Coach on the left is the duck above water, calm. Coach on the right is the duck below water. Pumping, grinding, going after it, showing you everything that's going on. Two very good coaches, two contrasting individuals. 3rd and 10. Pick up the stunts up the middle. Rodgers gets it to John Kuhn with a flag down. He's 2 yards shy of the first down. Flag thrown at the line of scrimmage as Leroy Hill made the tackle.
Offside. Defense number 91. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
It'll be 3rd and 5. The Packers will have another crack at it as Chris Clemens lined up offside.
I like what Mike McCarthy did there. He brought Jermichael Finley in short motion and chipped Bruce Irvin, the rookie first-round pass rusher. Going to keep an eye on that tonight. Green Bay is going to be very creative dealing with the speed rushers, Clemens and Irvin.
I want to give Rodgers extra shots. 3rd and 5 underneath, and the drive stays alive with a 7-yard first down catch for James Jones. So the 3rd procedural flag. 2 false starts on the offense, 1 on the defense, hurting the Seahawks here in the early going.
Seattle plays a lot of 3 deep defenses. It's not always man-to-man. It's not always zone. But you're going to see a shallow cross coming from right to left against the zone defense. Great job by James Jones, knowing exactly where the first down marker was.
Cedric Benson is the running back. The fake to Benson as Rodgers finds him out of the backfield. He's past the 31-yard line. He's flagged down, right back by Rodgers.
Got a holding call here. A lot of penalties early in this one, Mike. Imagine that.
Legal block, hands to the face. Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Josh Sitton, the right guard.
Oh, Josh Sitton, let's take a look at him right here, right guard.
Kept it up there a long time.
I would say so.
On Alan Branch.
Good call.
Branch took a shot back at him. Our referee tonight is Wayne Elliott. His crew worked the Washington-St. Louis game 8 days ago. Several issues in that game with both head coaches. Randall Cobb is in the game for the Packers. He's bottom of your screen. 1st and 20. Rodgers to Benson. Dropped it. John Red Bryant again with the defensive pressure for Seattle.
Man, is he impressive. He's a great run defender, and he can really push the pocket when he wants to. He lines up everywhere. Here he is on an inside move. They're really getting after Brian Balaga early in this football game. But now when they get into these long yardage second down situations, third downs, Gus Bradley has a lot of creative sub packages to get specialty rushers on the field.
Second and 20, Irvin coming inside. Got Rodgers, has his second sack. Beat Balaga again.
They got to get help for Balaga. If they think they can single block Irvin right now, they're mistaken. Watch Irvin get off the ball, up the field, and underneath Balaga. And they have speed to track down Aaron Rodgers. And how about this bump and run corner, Brandon Browner? He says hello.
10 plays, 3 sacks, third and a quarter of the field. Irvin gets doubled underneath Jordy Nelson. K.J. Wright's got him. Packers will punt. Drive started at the 1. A couple of first downs for Aaron Rodgers. They have some protection issues with the Seattle defense to sort out on the sideline.
And Leon Washington is a dangerous returner. Just watch, if he gets a ball to return, how little wasted motion there is. He is a north-south runner with no fear.
Leon Washington let it bounce as he was on the run. He'll be down by the Packers at the 28-yard line, and we have a penalty flag down. Backs the players were running downfield. About 6 yards from the snap. 51, the kick for Tim Mastay. It's a preliminary signal of ineligible downfield.
An ineligible player downfield. Punting team number 33. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
You have a choice there. You can do the 5 and tack it on to where it was, or go re-kick. And with Leon Washington, Pete Carroll would like to have a second chance at his return man getting his hands on it.
No question, and Pete Carroll uses his starting secondary members to hold up these gunners on the outside. Here's Marcus Trufant on one side. Out here on the other side, you're going to see Earl Thomas in the ball game, lined up against number 43, rookie or second-year man M.D. Jennings. But Pete Carroll uses his best players on special teams.
Stay kicking again. This one much more hang time. It'll be 49 yards and fair caught by Washington at the 35-yard line. First time Aaron Rodgers has been sacked 3 times in a first quarter. He's being introduced to the first-round pick of the Seahawks, Bruce Irvin, who has 2 of the 3 sacks. It's the year of the rookie quarterback of the NFL, 5 of them starting in week 1. But a third-round pick, that's odd. Well, Russell Wilson was at North Carolina State, put up big numbers, but had this great offer in baseball. A 4th-round pick, a second baseman for the Colorado Rockies. And Tom O'Brien at NC State needed his quarterback back in spring ball to prepare for his senior year. That's why a little-known rule in college football, allowing Wilson to go be a graduate student at a school that didn't offer that graduate program. So NC State didn't have what Wisconsin did. He goes to Wisconsin, leads them to the Rose Bowl. And John, perhaps with the stats, the most impressive, he goes to Madison, named captain of the Badgers after being on campus for about a month.
He's here for a month and a half. He became the starting quarterback of the Seahawks. This kid is really special, Mike.
Beat out Matt Flynn and Tavares Jackson in a 3-man competition in the preseason, leading the 3rd drive here with Marshawn Lynch. Right for a couple of yards. John, he was at your Gruden's QB camp this summer. What impressed you about Wilson?
Well, he just has a never say die attitude. There's no way somebody's going to tell him he can't do it because he's 5'10". He is a terminator in terms of work ethic. He will not quit, and nobody pushes himself as hard as Russell Wilson that I've ever met. I got a lot of respect for him as a player, as an athlete, and as a young man.
Impressive comments from everybody we talked to. Offensive coordinator Darrell Bevel, head coach Pete Carroll, players on the defensive side of the ball, all wowed by Wilson. Making his 3rd start here tonight. Lynch out of the backfield, chased down by A.J. Hawk. He's made a couple of good plays here in the first 2 weeks of the season.
It's a nice play by A.J. Hawk, the leading tackler of the Green Bay Packers. Remember, they lost Desmond Bishop. Very good inside linebacker in the preseason, but it's a good job by Hawk playing over the top and making a good tackle on the boundary for a limited gain. Continue to go with a no-back set. And Green Bay is going to try to confuse young Russell Wilson here.
Nobody with their hand on the ground. Who's coming? 5 Packers push. Wilson looking for something open. Chased by Matthews. Throws sideline. And out of bounds again. 3rd time he's thrown it away. It's 3 and out Green Bay defense.
That's why I don't put a big premium on sacks. I put a big premium on a factor grade. Watch Matthews being double teamed, never quitting and running Russell Wilson down. This kid Matthews, he is got so much energy from start to finish. And all these young Packers emulate whatever he does. That's impressive.
5 possessions, 5 punts. Ryan's kick 42 yards, taken by Cobb at the 19, and excellent coverage. Jeremy Lane, again a special teams high grade. He gives you the little Aaron Rodgers double check belt with the tackle. But we have a penalty marker down on the play. Throwing on that far side in front of the Packers bench. Back on this beautiful night in Seattle. This is the 48th NFL game of the regular season, and that's the 4th scoreless opening quarter thus far this year. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters with you here at CenturyLink Field. As we went to break, we mentioned a flag was down. It's a 15-yard tack on personal foul for the late hit called there, John, on Malcolm Smith of Seattle.
Don't see that. A lot of these penalties look more severe with this ultra-high-speed slow-mo. And when I saw that in real time, I didn't think that was a penalty.
Well, John, the Packers are going to take over at the 37. I mentioned it was a scoreless first quarter. Packers had no points against San Francisco, no points against Chicago in the first quarter, and now a third time, a 0 to open the game. Plays, 38 yards, 3 sacks for Rodgers and the Green Bay offense. The show run, Rodgers is rolling and throwing to Benson out of the backfield. Chased down again by Bobby Wagner. Wagner's a rookie, 2nd-round pick out of Utah State.
And Aaron Rodgers has run the ball 1 time tonight. He just can't believe he's seeing one-on-one coverage snap after snap. There's Richard Sherman taking Nelson, and over here is Brandon Browner against Jennings. Not a lot of great looks so far in this pass offense for the Packers. Seahawks have been very sticky in their coverage.
Quick toss out to Jennings, and he will not pick up the first down as the other big member of that secondary, 6'3" Cam Chancellor, up from his safety spot.
Not a lot of safeties I've seen are 6'3", 232 pounds that can come downhill and make a tackle in the open field. You're going to see it coming on your left side. That's one-on-one with Greg Jennings with no help.
Jennings coming back from the groin injury. Didn't have the burst to get away from that big guy. Now it's 3rd and a yard, and the play clock's at 10.
Won't be surprised if you see a shot play, Mike.
Jordy Nelson's up at the top of the screen. It is play action. Rodgers looking, loading, nowhere to go. He's sacked for a 4th time. And it's Chris Clemens bringing him down.
Pass rush and coverage. And it's that combination that has doomed Green Bay so far. Just take a look at Clemens coming off the right side. Rodgers on a play fake is going to try to get a double move to Jordy Nelson, and there's nowhere for him to throw the football. But Clemens has had 11 sacks 2 years in a row. Great rusher.
That's David King. 43 yards. Fair caught by Washington at the 17. So 4 sacks. You want to say good defensive line play. A lot of credit to the secondary. Rodgers has nowhere to go and nowhere to hide.
Impressive.
This sounds great. Bears and Cowboys next Monday night. Chicago off their home victory yesterday, and America's team beat America's kneel-down team, the Buccaneers. So we'll see a pair of 2-1 teams, the Bears and the Cowboys. Monday Night Countdown get you going at 6:30, and we'll be down at the beautiful stadium in Arlington, just outside of Dallas. This time next week for Monday Night Football. Green Bay has run it twice, but really, John, one of those was an Aaron Rodgers run. So they've only got him around the ball, handing it off to Benson 1 time. The 4 Seattle sacks, big part of the story so far. Russell Wilson starts from the 17 with Lynch left 3 yards, and Ryan Pickett carried another yard. So a gain of 4 for Marshawn.
Some of these runs are going for 2, 3, 4 yards in the first half, but they'll gain 6, 7, and 8 in the second half. You're going to see A.J. Hawk overrun this, but watch Marshawn Lynch. He gets tackled near the line of scrimmage, leg drive, finish. He refuses to go down, and that's a good solid 5-yard gain, and there wasn't much there.
Here's Lynch right in the waiting arms of B.J. Raji for less than a yard. So a third down coming up. Good play by the former first-round pick of the Packers. We were talking to Aaron Rodgers last night about Marshawn Lynch because they were teammates at Cal, and he said, to think, we could have had him. Remember, Lynch was in Buffalo, ran into troubles with the law a couple of times, was out there on the trade market. Green Bay was in need for a back at that point. It was Seattle that stepped up, eventually got him, and he built a good offense around him here. 1,200 yards a season ago.
4 rookies on the field defensively for Green Bay. That's amazing.
3rd and 5. Wilson throws, and one of those rookies, Casey Hayward, defending Golden Tate. No flag. 4th down. 3 and out for the Seahawks again.
These Green Bay Packers are unbelievable. They drafted 6 defensive players with their first 6 picks. Here's Casey Hayward out of Vanderbilt. Nice play. Clean play. But they're playing 5 rookies at a time sometimes, Mike. They had 4 on the field right there. You rarely see that from a team as good as Green Bay early in the season.
Made a difference in that game on the short week against Chicago. Ryan to kick again. It's a booming kick, but room for Cobb after a 64-yard kick that he muffs. He's all the way back at the 5 now. And it only gets to the 11. So they flip the field as Malcolm Smith, penalized on the last punt, comes up with a tackle. Officially, it'll go down as a kick of 65. And a return of -2. Tonight's aerial coverage from Seattle, brought to you by DirecTV. Beautiful weather. It's worth the trip out here, isn't it?
It really is something.
The weather's been sensational. Atmosphere is phenomenal in this stadium. From the 11, Rodgers' second run of the night. This is Cobb out of the backfield running, and Randall Cobb comes down the sideline, takes a lick as he gains 20 yards, and Brandon Browner hits him.
This is why he's such a joker. They told us, hey, we're going to line him up and play him at running back. We'll free release him and throw him the ball, and we'll hand him the ball if we get a soft box. Tremendous lower body strength. And Randall Cobb is not just a kick returner anymore, Packer fans. He's an every down, any formation weapon that you're going to see a lot of this year.
It's a lot of the way he did it at Kentucky. Lined up everywhere. 31's play pass for Rodgers. Zipping it in there. The pass is caught by Jennings at the 44. Back-to-back Green Bay first downs.
It's just a matter of time. It's a post pattern off of play action, reverse pivot action, and Greg Jennings does a nice job getting the release, squaring up Sherman, making him defend both sides of the cut, and then he makes a nice adjustment. Clean catch.
Adjusting the play late in the clock. It's it off in time. Benson to the right. About the 47-yard line.
There's Cedric Benson carrying a conventional run that he's run before. A lot has changed for Cedric. A lot of his carries here in Green Bay come in the shotgun. He's a very good physical 227-pound inside zone runner. A lot of these schemes they run in Green Bay, Cedric Benson has not seen before. And he's given this Packer offense a dimension they desperately need, a guy they can hand it to.
2nd and 6, 15th throw of the night is off the hands of Cobb. And incomplete. We'll have 3rd down. John, let's just go back to Benson a second, because you think about this Packer team. They had Ryan Grant, but they've really been in search of a back. James Starks did so well for them in the playoff run that led to the Super Bowl title, but he continues to be banged up. So as the preseason was going on, they were desperate for a guy. Not in this situation, 3rd down, but in every down back. and they went and got Benson, who was sitting around after being released from Cincinnati. John Kuhn is on the field for 3rd and 6. Rodgers' little hand signal to James Jones. That's covered. He's chased with a flag down. He's down again. Chris Clemens.
As both defensive ends dominating the Packers. Got a holding call, I believe, on Balaga, and Clemens is off to the races.
Holding, offense number 75. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Balaga against Irvin. That's probably holding there, Mike. And watch Clemens on the backside, a little tackle in stunt. And he goes and gets Aaron Rodgers. But it's not just the rush, it's the coverage. There's not a lot of places to throw it either, Mike.
Punt again from Masted. On the run, Washington from the 20. Beyond to the 27-yard line. Return to 7. Kuhn with a little late push there. No flag thrown. And Aaron Rodgers under siege here tonight. Brian Balaga has been beaten on a regular basis. And Rodgers has been sacked 5 times in the first 20 minutes. 8 series, 8 punts so far. Seattle has gone 3 and out, 3 of their 4 drives. Will change for the Seahawks in the offensive line here to start this drive.
J.R. Sweezy playing right guard, a former defensive lineman at NC State.
Number 64, he has played significantly against Arizona. 30 snaps against Dallas last week. Russell Wilson, first down, left it open, taken off for the first time. And Wilson with a nice move and a first down in front of Sam Shields, but there are 2 markers down. Looks like holding's going to bring this one back.
We have 2 holds on the play. Holding, 76. That penalty's declined. Holding, 67. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Both guys on the left side of the line, Russell Okung, Pat McQuiston. And John, we talked about the penalties, and we've seen, I think, 8 to this point accepted penalties. Other than a 15-yard, little bit of a late hit, they've all been legitimate flags, clear as day. So this crew has done a decent job here so far.
Yes, they have. It's been sloppy. A lot of carelessness. Pre-snap penalties, holding calls, personal fouls. A lot of this has to be cleaned up quick.
First and 20, Wilson tried to change the snap count. And Jarrell Worthy, the rookie out of Michigan State, made the first move. And then Seattle reacted to his jump into the neutral zone.
Got to be on Green Bay, I believe.
Offside. Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Russell Wilson played against Jarrell Worthy in the Big Ten twice last year. He knows Worthy is one of these get-off defensive tackles. Listen.
Played him twice, a couple of close games, including the Big Ten championship game that Wilson and Wisconsin won over Worthy's Spartans. A run by Lynch after 2 flags. Look at Charles Woodson with his hands in there. He's created so many turnovers over the years. He's trying to pull it away from Lynch, but Lynch is holding on to it like a big bag of Skittles.
Charles Woodson has been in the league 15 years. He's one of the great corners I ever coached. Now he's playing safety. He's got to get around the fire here, come into the pile and tackle these big backs. I don't know how much Woodson loves that part of it. They moved him to safety. It's been pretty fun for him these first 2 weeks, but I don't know how much in the paint he wants to see Marshawn Lynch tonight.
That was a gain of 8, 2nd and 7. Right back to Lynch with Michael Robinson trying to lead the way. I'll get him out to the 32-yard line. This is what the Seahawks did well against Dallas, especially in the second half. Pete Carroll's team was physical. They pounded. They ran the ball. And they wore down the Cowboys with 2 long drives in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
It's the identity of this Seahawk team. They've got a young quarterback. They've got a right guard that's never played right guard since he was 8 years old. A lot of inexperience on this offense. They're going to play it close to the vest most of the time.
Looking for their first third down pickup of the night. Wilson chased by Matthews, escapes, runs for it. Got it. First down.
I said that at the very beginning of the game. He's going to need his legs tonight against this Green Bay defense. Just a crazy psycho inside rush by Matthews. He got picked, and off went Russell Wilson. There was no contain. Man-to-man coverages with no contain. Russell Wilson can hurt you. Clay Matthews, he got tackled is right.
Didn't you just tell me that Sweezy was a defensive lineman in college?
Tried to tell you that.
He's just still a good tackler. He can't.
Oh, you missed that.
Jeez. John Moffitt back in the game at right guard now from the 40. Lynch runs it for 3 with A.J. Hawk and Nick Perry. And a flag in as the action goes late.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 51, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's DJ Smith, the second-year man who's replacing Desmond Bishop, who's out for the year when he hurt his hamstring to open a preseason.
We'll try to take a look at this penalty. Now, you're a linebacker. You're trying to get to Marshawn Lynch and gang tackle him. See if you see number 51. He got knocked down. I don't know what he did.
He got knocked down by McQuiston. I don't know if there was something that he did after he got up.
Must have.
After that caused the flag. That would be the only thing because he didn't do anything there. So they go into Packer territory at the 42-yard line. Wilson with time, looking downfield towards Golden Tate. Touchdown, Seahawks.
How about that throw? They're crowding the box. The Green Bay Packers playing an 8-man front, and they give Golden Tate one-on-one coverage. And what they tell us all week while we were here, Mike, this is the young man we need to get going. Very good receiver after the catch, and he has sneaky, deep speed. But watch Russell Wilson come out of this fake. Very good pass protection. Good rhythm. Great throw. Beat Tremont Williams bad. Take a look at Tate. Just a double move, little slight outside move, and back to the post. Good clear out inside by McCoy and a great throw. Big play for Seattle.
So after that personal foul flag, and McQuiston really was the first one with the action that eventually drew the flag on the other team on DJ Smith. Wilson makes the pay with a 41-yard touchdown. So the old Golden Domer, Golden Tate. There's the business on the first scoring drive that stops the longest scoreless game to this point in this NFL season. Here's what happened on that 15-yard penalty. Pat McQuiston, 67, there in the action at the 40-yard line, goes and pushes DJ Smith of Green Bay. Smith gets up, and that is what's called for the 15-yarder. And as happens oftentimes, the second action is what gets caught. Mentioned Jerry Austin, twice the referee in the Super Bowl, with us on Monday Night Football all year. Jerry said if you're going to call one, you've got to call both. You can't miss the first. That was the causing action for the second. So Smith was wrong. The officials didn't see the first one. Seahawks make them pay. And here comes Randall Cobb spinning. And down to the 24-yard line. Jerron Johnson, who had the punt score last week on the block punt, with the stop. Rodgers and the Packers in a 7-point hole. A lead. The 12th man, even more of a factor here in Seattle, as number 12 in the Green Bay offense continues to struggle. Rodgers, first down pass is complete. Good coverage on Finley by the safety, Cam Chancellor. So 1950s, really, John, when you would look at the T formation, when the quarterback became the primary passer. So 1950 is a great benchmark for the NFL and points per start. And Aaron Rodgers has more points per start than anyone, even going back to Van Brocklin and Otto Graham in the early days. And this was the offense that was so potent last year. 560 points, second all time. but 3 offensive touchdowns in the first 9.5 quarters this season. Rodgers coming to Cobb out of the backfield. He is swarmed. That's Jerron Johnson coming up with the pressure as the dime safety on that play.
How much effort, how much physical play do you want to see from Seattle? K.J. Wright comes to the party, number 50. 3 Seattle Seahawks converge on Randall Cobb. If I was Randall Cobb, I'd go back in the huddle and say, if you throw me one more bubble screen, I ain't catching it.
And now watch 51 Bruce Irvin, top of your screen, Seattle defensive line, and 91 Chris Clemens at the bottom. 3rd and 6. Boy, Irvin got knocked down, and Rodgers' pass complete to James Jones for the first down at the 42-yard line. That's the way you take care of a pass rusher. Oh.
And that's the forgotten man, James Jones. For the last 4 or 5 years, he's been as good as any third receiver in the league. But here's the chip by Jermichael Finley. And that's about the most physical play I've seen Jermichael Finley make. They need him to get going as a pass receiver.
Rodgers on the move where he likes to load up and take a shot downfield. But it was all covered. And he's sacked for the 5th time, but a flag down on Brandon Mebe, his Cal teammate.
A long developing double move play pass shot. More dialogue here. This looks like it might be going against the Seahawks.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 92, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Mebe's looking at Pete Carroll and challenge that. No, you can't challenge. Can't challenge that, Brandon.
Mebe's a nose tackle.
That's a tough one to call because so often it's do you grab the face mask and start twisting. His hands on the inside of the mask there.
Calling everything tonight. Calling it real close.
That sack does count. Yardage added on. And a first down at the 47 of the Seahawks. They just had to get rid of that. Another flag comes in here. As that play was blown up from the start. K.J. Wright.
Holding, offense number 63, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
I feel like I'm at a tennis match. 10 yards this way, 15 yards that way. That time Jeff Saturday, the longtime Indianapolis Colt. I don't know what these penalties are all about, Mike. 3rd regular season game. But there have been an abundance of flags.
Six penalties per side, 6 sacks for Seattle. Most they've had in a half since 2007. Rodgers pressured up the middle, sack number 7. Chris Clemens. What is going on with the Green Bay offensive line?
That's one of the best inside moves I've seen. Wow, Clinton McDonald inside gets after the passer as well, but watch his inside move by Chris Clemens on Marshall Newhouse. Wow. Chris Clemens was an undrafted college football player. Quietly went about his business in Washington, Oakland, Philadelphia, and ever since he's come to Seattle, he has been a dominant pass rusher. He's unstoppable right now.
Timeout going to be taken here. We'll let the Seattle fans have their moment, as their defense has here tonight.
Isn't this great to see a defensive struggle for a change? I mean, I'll tell you, Mike, there's not a lot of gimmicks going on out here. These two defenses are physically taking it to the opposing offenses. It's refreshing to me, Mike.
See that number, most sacks in the first half of his NFL career. It's the 2nd most in a game for Rodgers. Remember the Favre game, Favre against Rodgers in the Metrodome. Jared Allen had the huge game. John, what can you do if you're Mike McCarthy and Green Bay here? I asked you in break, where's that screen game, which was always so good over the years for the Packers offense?
They've only run the ball 2 times. I think Cedric Benson maybe 3 times. Randall Cobb carried the ball, but you might want to get some tight ends that can block put him on the field. Consider using a fullback. You have John Kuhn. And try to just get some basic runs going to take this crowd out of the game a little bit. But throwing the ball on an every down basis hasn't been the way to go yet for Green Bay. And you have to worry about Aaron Rodgers and the punishment that he's taken from these Seahawks so far.
Second and 27. Rodgers looking for anything. He is sacked again. It's Clemens for the 4th time in the half.
I'll tell you what, I can't understand for the life of me why Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw the football away here. Plenty of time. His clock's got to go off, but you're going to see Clemens go right by the quarterback and stay after it. That's what you have to do against Aaron Rodgers. You have to keep hunting because these second reaction plays that Rodgers is famous for, you have to take away from him with effort. And Chris Clemens has 3 sacks tonight. Make it 4.
Rodgers just gets it to Kuhn. 8 yards and nothing with his Green Bay offense here tonight.
And this Seattle sideline is erupted. Look at Pete Carroll, Gus Bradley, this Seattle coaching staff, after what they did to the Dallas Cowboys last week for 4 quarters and what they've done tonight in this first half. That's a huge statement, Mike.
Timeout Seattle. Let's see. Seattle took a timeout on this side of the 2-minute warning to preserve those 28 seconds with a momentum and a 7-0 lead.
Good pressure all night. Look at Chris Clemens and Bruce Irvin, number 51, their first rounder. Irvin got Rodgers twice to get the party started, and then it's Chris Clemens saying, hey, what about me? They have dominated this football game with pass rush. They have punished Aaron Rodgers and his Packer offense. And I'm sure Mike McCarthy's going to make some adjustments here at halftime. It's not been pretty, Mike.
And they faced a very good San Francisco defense, and then Chicago with Peppers and Urlacher and Briggs. And now Seattle having its way with the Packer offense. Rocket shot by Mastey. Yeah, Washington gets away. A good job to reestablish back on the good side of the goal line by Jared Bush. Allows him to down it at the 1. 55 on the kick. With 99 yards for Russell Wilson, who on the last possession threw the 41-yard touchdown to Golden Tate.
Take a look at it. It's going to be a play-action pass. And watch McCoy, the tight end, clear out Charles Woodson so he can't overlap and help Vermon Williams, who gets beaten on a double move. But it's an excellent job by Anthony McCoy, number 85, running clearance through Charles Woodson to create that one-on-one for Golden Tate. Well executed, great throw by the young quarterback.
Now Pete Carroll took that timeout on this side of the 2-minute warning to preserve some time, but the punt pinning them back at the 1. Puts a little pressure on the Seattle offense. And Lynch lucky to get out of the end zone as DJ Smith came steaming in there, but was picked up as we hit the 2-minute warning in Seattle. 8 sacks against the Packers. 7 points for the Seahawks. 2-minute warning here in the Great Northwest.
Keep going after him, no matter what coach calls. It's gonna work because we're gonna make it work. All right, come on, keep going after him. They're not gonna beat us physically if we just line up and play them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Sunday soundtracks feature Monday Night Football at halftime this year. It's the great work of NFL Films each week turned around so you can enjoy it at halftime. You think of the Monday night halftime highlights that Howard Cosell did for so many years. NFL Films has been such a part of the league, and so many great remembrances of a brilliant man, Steve Sable, who we lost so darn earlier this week. He's died from brain cancer.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine and yours, and he's going to be a hard guy to replace. He wired me for the Super Bowl a long time ago, and he said, hey, just do it, trust me, and I'm glad I did. It's a prized possession I have. Well, what a great friend. I really miss him.
Came to you the night before the Tampa Super Bowl went over Oakland.
Yeah.
Steve Sable has given us so many memories, and it was great to see those iconic shots during the week as you watch the NFL to remember Steve Sabol and all the great people at NFL Films. Our condolences to his family and all those who've worked with him over the years. Marshawn Lynch a carry for a yard. Green Bay going to take a timeout here at 1:51 as Ryan Pickett made the play. And they're going to force Seattle.
This is what you have to do in this kind of game.
I saw Mike McCarthy walk out there. I thought he was going to take the timeout. They did not. So the clock will still run. As we tell you, Toyota halftime show coming up. Chris Berman, Chris Mortensen, Adam Schefter. You'll see those Sunday side soundtracks. The devastating news for the Jets, the loss of Darrelle Revis for the season, and the latest on the negotiations, or lack thereof, with the replacement officials. So no timeout taken by the Packers with 1:20 left. It is Lynch running for the first down. That means Green Bay can't get the ball back. And we have a Packer injured back behind the play.
Looks like Jarrell Worthy, their second-round draft choice. Snapped the ball on a quick count. Green Bay wasn't ready, and off went Lynch.
Worthy hurt. Timeout. Seattle, Jarrell Worthy, the second-round pick, defensive lineman for the Packers, injured. Walked off the field, limped under his own power.
You see the left guard, Paul McQuiston, on a backside cutoff block. Cut his legs down, and that's what happens in this zone blocking scheme. Lynch reads the play side. They aggressively cut people down on the backside. Sure, Worthy hasn't seen a lot of that.
Worthy goes off. Marshawn Lynch runs just shy of the 20-yard line. Because of the injury in the last 2 minutes to Green Bay, they lose their final timeout. It looks like Seattle has really no interest of trying to move the ball down the field quickly. The Packers get the ball to start the third quarter.
Be very careful if you're Seattle here. Both of these teams thrive on the turnover battle.
Right back to Lynch's 16th carry of the half. Had that ball out there as a gain of 3 yards. As this first half is going to come to an end. And Green Bay was held scoreless in the first half. And the only time that happened last year was their only regular season loss in Kansas City, 19-14. They'll get the ball to start the third. They have work to do in the locker room. 8 sacks in the first half of Aaron Rodgers. And the Seahawks lead 7-0 as we send it to Chris Berman and the Toyota halftime show. Boomer.
We only get here comes the ready or not. How you like me now? Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now?
One touchdown, Golden Tate caught it. Aaron Rodgers sacked 8 times as we come up here to our spot in Seattle. 7-0 Seahawks. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters in a second. So you add the Dallas game. That's 34-7 Seahawks over 2 good teams the last 6 quarters. And we're giving credit to the guys who are making the sacks and making the plays up front. What about the coverage that's helping this happen?
It's a collective effort by all these Seahawks. This right corner, Brandon Brown, and watch him just get rid of Jennings and make the tackle. Physical group. Over here, Richard Sherman against Jordy Nelson. Nelson has 2 catches for 18 yards, been a non-factor. And it has just been the pass rush of Clemens and Irvin all night long. But a couple times, Rodgers might have a chance to get rid of the football. But the Seahawks wanted the Packers tonight. This is their proving ground here tonight. If they can take down Dallas and Green Bay convincingly over a 2-week period, this is just what Pete Carroll wanted to see his young football team do, Mike.
We mentioned 8 sacks of Rodgers. They've been tracking sacks as an individual stat since '82, but as a team stat since the early '60s. And the record for most sacks in a game by one team is 12. We'll see if this pass protection thing is cleaned up in the second half. Hauschka picking off. Randall Cobb unreturnable out of the back As the Packers take over, we go down to Lisa Salters.
Hey, Mike, I asked Mike McCarthy about those 8 sacks, how to slow down that rush, and he said, you know what, we've got to control the things we can control. Those penalties that got us into long down and distance situations, and somehow he said, we've got to establish the run. Pete Carroll, on the other hand, thrilled with his defense. He said the effort is really on it tonight, and he said that back end is really taking care of business. I said, Coach, this ain't soccer, you got to score. He said, yeah, we got to get out of our way, cut down on the penalties, but we're going to get after it. Mike?
Thank you, Lisa. Again, this loud crowd. Rodgers starts in the 27. Benson to the right. It's a good solid run by Benson for 6 yards. Not many rushes for Green Bay at all in the first half. 4 for 40, and one of those was a Rodgers scramble for 16 yards. Time possession dead even, but not a lot of offense in terms of total yards for those 8 sacks to stick out of the 27 Green Bay offensive plays. Second straight carry. Benson gallops to a first down to the 34-yard line.
That's where you want to see Cedric Benson. The old-fashioned I formation. It's going to be an inside run to the left behind lead back John Kuhn, and watch Benson cut this run all the way back. Impressive blocking on a backside by Balaga. DJ Williams. You see number 71, Josh Sitton finish. 2 nice carries to start the second half for Benson.
Rodgers back to throw for the tight end, DJ Williams, who can bring it in as he was covered by K.J. Wright. Now, Tom Crabtree, the tight end who caught that fake field goal on 4th down, 4th and very long in Chicago, he's inactive tonight. He's healthy, but there's so many good players for the Packers. Crabtree is inactive. Williams is their second tight end.
And we haven't seen much of Jermichael Finley either. Here he is split down at the bottom of the screen against Brown or a corner. They have to get Finley going in a passing game.
Down, Benson seeking space, and Cedric Benson runs into K.J. Wright at the 40-yard line.
You know, K.J. Wright is a big outside linebacker. Pressed into service last year. He played middle linebacker. But K.J. Wright is coming into his own as an outside linebacker in this 4-3 defense. Here he is playing inside. And watch him fall back and find Cedric Benson. He got lost there.
Bobby Wagner, the new rookie middle linebacker, which is what Wright was last year, couldn't make the tackle, and KJ was lucky he came to him. Gain of 6, 3rd and 4. Quick count, quick toss, Jennings. Twisted down by the safety Cam Chancellor, but the spot will give him a first down with forward progress at the 45.
Another one of those instances where Aaron Rodgers gets rid of the ball so quickly. They didn't cover down defensively. Rodgers saw it, picked it up, and threw it. I promise you, Rodgers doesn't get the laces when he throws this half of the time. He catches it and gets rid of it. That's all ball, no laces. Aaron Rodgers is amazing in this shotgun.
Back under center, back to Benson. And Cedric Benson tackled by Browner with a gain of 8. So Green Bay has run the ball as many times in the first 2.5 as they did in the first half.
Well, Benson is responsible for the play side. Watch the backside blocks that allow Cedric Benson to cut this back. DJ Williams comes across the formation and does an excellent job sealing the edge, and it allows Benson, who we said earlier is a very good zone runner, to see the backside cut.
Deepest the Packers have been in Seahawk territory, and it's Benson again, looking like the Cedric Benson we got used to. Remember back in his high school days in Texas, he ran for the 5th most yards, 8,400. Then he played in college ball at Texas. He ran for 5,500 yards, 6th all-time in major college football. 4th pick overall from the Bears. We were joking with him last night, said you started as a Bear, might end your career as a Packer. He said that doesn't wash normally because of that great rivalry. The man is Green Bay glad to have him, especially right now. And it sets up some play action. Rodgers with no flag coming in on tight coverage from Earl Thomas And the Green Bay sideline ballistic at no call there.
I like the no call reverse pivot. They're going to use a little play action pass and try to throw a sharp post to James Jones. And that's Earl Thomas, the Pro Bowl 23-year-old safety. Watch number 29 cut this off.
The quarterback, defense number 54. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The call is on Bobby Wagner for hitting Rodgers there. As the Packers sideline was watching the same thing I was, that Earl Thomas early contact.
And Bobby Wagner, that's a rookie mistake right there. You have to pull off the quarterback, and anything below the belt that's semi-late is going to be caught. Critical error by the rookie from Utah State.
Exactly what Green Bay needed in this opening drive in the third quarter. Just the threat of a run might regulate that pass rush, make those ends think about it a bit. Williams, the tight end, comes back to block for Benson, seeking space, making men miss. Sounds like a Marshawn Lynch run, 8 of 2.
Talk about all these receivers for Green Bay. These last couple plays, they've been using 3 tight ends. Ryan Taylor, who's just exiting the game, 84, DJ Williams, 88, Finley. Now Mike McCarthy on a second and long brings back some of the heavy artillery. Jones, Nelson, Jennings. All 3 of these Packer receivers are due to make a play.
To one back and one tight end, Finley, who's lined up in the middle, on the left, as Rodgers goes to Benson out of the backfield. Quick spin move to try to get past the linebacker, Leroy Hill, who makes the tackle too shy of a first down.
You know, we did a lot of work on Cedric Benson. He came out with Cadillac Williams and Ronnie Brown. They all came out together. We took Cadillac when I was with Tampa. Cedric Benson can catch the football. And he's caught a couple checkdowns against this zone defense that have really helped Green Bay. Critical 3rd down and 3. A lot of tight ends.
The flag on the back end. Well, Seattle had too many as a snap was imminent because Rodgers was under center.
Too many men on the field. Defense, 5-yard penalty. That penalty will result in a first down.
And again, this year, that used to be a flag that would be thrown, the play would happen. But if the snap is imminent, that's whistled before it's snapped, and the 5 is walked off.
Well, these personnel substitutions are confusing Seattle. That time, Green Bay had no receivers. All tight ends and backs. Seattle substitute to their big personnel. Somebody didn't get off.
This is the first time in the red zone for the Packers tonight. Rodgers stumbling as he got out, got tangled in the interior with his lineman, and KJ Wright twists Benson down for a loss of a couple.
You're a shotgun quarterback the majority of the time. Sometimes you get underneath the center, and your pivots in the running game aren't as good. He got stepped on that time. Luckily, they got a clean exchange. Another great play by KJ Wright, their second-year linebacker out of Mississippi State. Dangerous handoff.
The 16, play action, Rodgers. He's covered downfield, checks it down to Kuhn. John Kuhn down to the 10-yard line. You can hear the Packer fans, who as always have made the trip to the green and gold represented here in the Northwest tonight.
That's a 2-man route. They're going to try to run a play action pass and fool the linebacker to throw a post right in behind him. Seattle wasn't buying it. Nice play. Good resource to have the checkdowns in this Packer offense. That's why Rodgers completes so many passes. 5 wide receivers, Mike.
Including Donald Driver. Caught a touchdown last week. 5 for the first down, 10 for the touchdown. Out of the gun. Rodgers. Keeping it alive. Laser to the end zone. Driver couldn't bring it in.
Boy, they usually ring that one up. 3-man rush. A lot of time for Aaron Rodgers. And his receivers usually uncover in these situations. But it's a nice zone blanket coverage. You see Jordy Nelson working on one side. trying to uncover when Rodgers scrambles. The word plaster is a common word around here with the Seattle secondary. When that quarterback scrambles, plaster to your man. Nice job by Seattle.
Mason Crosby from 29. And it took almost 37 minutes. Packers get on the board with a field goal. Good opening drive. Driver almost had the game-tying touchdown. Instead, his team's down 4.
Monday Night Football is brought to you by Madden NFL 13. A new look, a new feel, a new way to Madden forever. Rated everyone. Honda. Visit your Honda dealer right now for great deals. Only a Honda is a Honda. And ESPNShop.com, where you can get all of your official NFL sideline gear.
See Lisa talking to Clay Matthews there. Jeff riding the Monday Night Bus, driving us 2,700 miles along with the rest of our production trucks and our crew from Atlanta last week to Seattle this week, and now we're back down to Dallas next week.
What do you know about the bus, man? You're one of the private.
Oh, you get out of here.
Plane,
yeah, you get out of
guys.
Here. Here comes the kickoff from Crosby. Leon Washington from the 5 catches and goes right away. What a good tackle brought down by Ryan Taylor. And a flag does come as the conversation continues on the sideline. And the officials have been, I thought, quicker, John, in this week 3 to stop these scrums by throwing flags.
Yeah, get these players back to their bench. And I think Pete Carroll, Mike McCarthy do a good job of getting that done. But keep an eye on number 49 here. I don't know what Robert Francois is thinking there.
Yeah, Washington got up to run again.
Unnecessary roughness on the kicking team, number 59. 15-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
Calling on 59, Brad Jones. I'm not sure if it was just a number being called incorrectly. In any case, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks threw a touchdown in the second quarter. They'll have good field position when we come back. He correctly called on Brad Jones. He had an extra push about 10 yards away from the out-of-bounds action. So Robert Francois' push on the runner, Washington, was not what was called. From the 42 with a flag down, killing the play for a pre-snap foul on Seattle.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Second foul tonight. It's a false start 2 times on McCoy tonight, but watch Wilson get hit. You're going to see Pickett come clean right up the middle, number 79 for Green Bay, and he plants Russell Wilson. Too many pre-snap penalties on this Seahawk offense through 3 weeks.
9 penalties, 80 yards for Seattle. First and 15, and Marshawn Lynch runs right into Ryan Pickett and B.J. Raji. Good guys plugging up the middle. First half for Wilson, John.
Well, he did some good things. Didn't ask him to do a lot throwing the football, but he took care of the ball. He scrambled on the touchdown drive to set the Seahawks up. First and 10 for the play-action bomb, double move with Golden Tate. And they're way behind in the down and distance right now. Got to be careful with these Packers in long yardage situations.
Second and 13 for the rookie third-round pick, Wilson. Chased in trouble and brought down by a first-round pick. Nick Perry out of USC. Big loss with the sack.
They can all run in this league. Nick Perry, the big first-rounder out of Southern Cal. He's just going to stay after Russell Wilson on this play-action pass. They're in a max pro. They're looking to the wide side of the field. And I think Russell Wilson felt he could just outrun Nick Perry, who was one of the most impressive athletes we saw at the Combine. Great effort and pursuit.
Taken with the 28th pick of the draft, struggled in the game against Chicago last week. That's his first NFL sack. First sack of the night for the Packer defense. And the third of the field gets even longer as the flag is thrown from the back by the back judge for delay of game.
Delay game. Offense number 3. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
This might be the worst opening drive of a second half that offensive coordinator Darrell Bevell can remember. They started this drive in great field position after the Brad Jones penalty. And this is third down in Tacoma. You call this play, Mike.
3rd and 37. Leon Washington's the back. He'll make it like a kick return. Clay Matthews got a hand on him. Washington moves forward to the 26-yard line, and that's a momentum swing. Green Bay keeps the ball for half the quarter on the opening drive, and their defense does exactly what they needed to do, get a 3-and-out.
Well, we said Mike McCarthy was going to go to the locker room and make some adjustments. And what did he do? He came out with Cedric Benson, a fullback, multiple tight end sets. They went right down the field. Don't give Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers too many opportunities to end your night.
And the Packer John Ryan with the kick. It's a beautiful one. It is 64 yards, taking Randall Cobb back to the 10. Cobb looking for space. None there. 2 yards on the return. Heath Farwell leads the special teams tackle. And Ryan pulling away his teammate Jeremy Lane says no need to give Rodgers more field here. But Ryan was officially credited with more yardage on that punt earlier. He was given 73 yards on a punt in the second quarter. Another big one there. Monday night will be in Dallas. Cowboys and Bears play a pair of 2-1 teams. Terrific start to October on Monday Night Football. 6:30 Eastern. Chris Berman and company with Monday Night Countdown. Benson ran it 7 times on that last drive. And Cedric's 8th carry of the half. John, 4 yards, 5 yards per carry here. It's an effective part of the Packer offense right now.
I really like what Cedric Benson has done. Matter of fact, he's been the whole offense tonight for Green Bay. Credit Mike McCarthy for making the adjustment. Multiple tight ends, 2 back sets, hand the ball to Benson. Sooner or later, you're going to see the sting of the play-action pass that Green Bay's known for.
You see Nelson and Driver, Cobb on the sideline watching. There's the play action. Coming underneath is Kuhn. He was trailed throughout by Cam Chancellor. And let's give Brandon Mebane some credit for knocking down his old Cal teammate.
Brandon Mebane has been effective as a run defender and as a pass rusher. And there goes Mebane off the field. These third down situations is when defensive coordinator Gus Bradley goes to his special forces. Bruce Irvin at the top of the screen, Clemens at the bottom, Jason Jones, and keep an eye on number 98, Greg Scruggs, the rookie out of Louisville. Here they come.
Scruggs is the guy over Jeff Saturday's shotgun snap. Look at Jones pushing in. Rodgers flush, so good throwing in these situations. Like that, a laser to Finley in front of Earl Thomas for the first down, just shy of midfield.
What a great throw, moving to his left. And a nice job by Finley keeping it alive. They barely stick this in. Earl Thomas, the Pro Bowl free safety at the top of the screen. Watch Rodgers escape to his left, keep his poise down the field. That's a sensational throw.
And after the gain of 31, as the Seahawks are getting reorganized, Rodgers jumps into a no-huddle and throws to James Jones for 8 yards. And Green Bay getting some rhythm and tempo that they did not have at all in the first half.
Oh, you give your offensive linemen a chance to come off the ball and thump people. They were on their heels, pass protecting in the first half. They're coming off the ball a lot better in the second half with this running game.
2nd and 1. Quick out to Jennings, who made a nice move to get past Marcus Trufant. Get the first down at the 38-yard line.
Now here comes the no-huddle of Aaron Rodgers. He's going to speed up the tempo. He knows Pete Carroll, Gus Bradley are using multiple substitutions, and he's tired of it. He's going to stay with the same group of Packers, and he's going to snap the ball before Seattle can line up.
Seattle trying to take, and they get a timeout. Timeout taken by the Seahawks defense. John, you saw exactly what Rodgers saw. They're subbing in. They went quick. Seattle had to burn a timeout. '99th game for both Mike McCarthy and Pete Carroll as a head coach. All McCarthy's in a row here with the Packers, and Pete Carroll's time with the Jets in New England, then the time, of course, at USC and the national championships, and now back here in the NFL, his third year with Seattle. The Seahawks team 7-9 last year. Looked like a much better team early this year. Rodgers throws to Jennings, complete. Cam Chancellor the tackle at the 35.
It's that quick game. That time Seattle covered everybody, brought 5, and Aaron Rodgers went to the quick game, and he got it out quick and on time to Jennings. But watch the tackle. Man. You can eliminate yards after the catch. You got a chance to hang around a long time in this modern-day league.
Second and 7, it will be Benson. Penetration to string it out, and Benson cuts it back and gains about 2 yards. John, just think about the 8 sacks that we saw in the first half for Seattle. We saw earlier in this drive no sacks in the first 2 drives of this third quarter for the Seattle defense.
And incredible substitutions by both sides. Green Bay went back to their wide receiver package. In comes the pass rush unit. Multiple DBs for Seattle.
Seattle has 6 defensive backs on the field. So Rodgers pitches to Benson, trying to get to the edge. Good hesitation, but a better pickup by K.J. Wright. There is a flag thrown on the play.
No, this is going to be hands to the face. Boy, against Brandon Browner, who's a ways away from this play.
Hands to the face. Defense number 39. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It's the corner on the near side of the field.
He can't be further away from this play. This ball's tossed away from Browner. Let's see what happens to he and James Jones. He's nowhere near the play. Boy.
Penalty yardage is a first down, and that should be yardage that is tacked on to the play.
This isn't the proper enforcement either.
They'll go from the 29. That's a Benson run to the 22-yard line and a pickup of 7.
And that's what's new for Cedric Benson. Shotgun runs. A lot of people in the league. Look at this tight end. I don't know what he is, a fullback or a tight end that's lost, but they do some incredibly creative things in the shotgun, running the football. Good hard run by Benson.
Rodgers, quick hit for Jennings in the hand of Chris Clemens, who had the 4-sack second quarter. Got in the lane there. That's rare that somebody gets their hand up that quick on that play.
Just a built-in side adjustment. Rodgers wanted to throw it before they could cover down. Good alert play by Clemens.
Third and 3, they blitz, and Rodgers throws incomplete. In and out of the hands of Finley, dropped it. Now finally they come in and rule no catch. It's fourth down. Rodgers trying to get to the line of scrimmage and get the play going, but it was finally ruled incomplete by the back judge. McCarthy wondering if he should challenge.
It's just a slant route. Ball's thrown perfectly, and Richard Sherman does a great job poking that ball out.
The back judge was the only one who could see that. He did a very good job coming in to make that call. Nobody else saw it. Play clock running down. 40-yard field goal for Crosby to make it a one-point game. Oh, great jump through the middle by Bruce Irvin, who almost got in for the block, but Crosby nails it from 40 yards. Wow. Watch Irvin, the first-round pick. He's got a couple of sacks already tonight. Jump over the center and almost get a second jump and a block.
Wow.
Seen some MVP winning quarterbacks the last 2 Monday nights with this look on their face of, man, How come it's not going as smooth as it once did? Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense, they're scratching clawing to get 6 points through 3 quarters here on the road in Seattle.
This is one of the best Seahawk defenses statistically in franchise history. They don't get a lot of national respect. They're earning it tonight.
Mason Crosby will kick to Leon Washington, who's had 2 different seasons with 3 kickoff returns for touchdown, 2007 and 2010. And 7 in his career, 1 shy of Josh Cribbs of Cleveland for the all-time record. Run up with the Packers to Crosby's boot, and Washington from 4 yards deep. Well covered, down at the 16-yard line. Casey Hayward with the tackle. So here comes Russell Wilson. We mentioned officially 5'10" and 5'8" his height. Our sports science guys put the numbers in. What does it mean? Well, his launch angle can be 20% higher than a 6'3" quarterback, like a Matt Stafford. So what does that height disadvantage mean? Well, the pass is hidden to the receivers downfield. They got to find their quarterback, and it takes the human brain a third of a second to visually locate and react to a ball. And by that time, a 50-mile-an-hour pass has already flown 8 yards. So sometimes they have to pick it up out of the air. And that's one of the reasons why generally, if you're under 6 feet, they don't think you can play in the league. But Wilson is trying to fight that stereotype and history. The 17 will give to Marshawn Lynch. Seeks space. Still going with the legs. Giving forward progress to the 20-yard line. Giants go back to the touchdown pass thrown to Golden Tate in the first half. And there you see, looking for him. John, passing lanes get talked about so often for the vision of a shorter quarterback.
And they sure do. Sometimes they get talked about too much because Russell Wilson has had no problem seeing. I'll go back for as long as I've studied him, and that's 5 years. Great job by the young quarterback, and they need him right now to get something going.
Green Bay's loading up on this run now. Been a steady diet of Lynch. They've gone with the extra offensive lineman here on second down as Lynch runs right. Gains only 2, maybe 3, as this quarter comes to a close.
There's C.J. Wilson out there. How about these Packers? A.J. Hawk, B.J. Raji, C.J. Wilson, and D.J. Smith. How's that for Packer trivia? They're all good players.
You need E.J. Henderson on the team. That'll complete it, right? 24 plays.
Get one up by you, man.
24 plays run by the Packers, and just 5 for the Seahawks in the third. Rodgers to driver shot in the back of the end zone. One shot at a touchdown for the Packers here tonight. No touchdowns, down 1 to the Seahawks. As we begin the fourth quarter here in Seattle, Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters, we begin with a 3rd and 5 for Russell Wilson at the 22. And Robert Turbin, the rookie out of Utah State, is the running back and is split out. Wilson pursued by Perry and Matthews. Throws incomplete, trying to get it to his tight end. Charles Woodson was blanketing Zach Miller. And it's a 3-and-out again for Seattle.
Nobody open. And again, you see Worthy number 99, 52 Matthews. But it's the coverage down the field. Dom Capers using 4 rookies. 2 of them in the secondary. McMillan and Hayward. 2 of them up front, Nick Perry and Jarrell Worthy at crunch time. Very uncommon.
The ex-Packer, John Ryan, has been killing the ball tonight. A lot of hang time on this, not as deep. A flag down as the fair catch is made of the 44-yard kick. Randall Cobb caught it at the 34. Ryan punted for Green Bay in 06 and 07. Wayne Elliott, the referee here tonight, real estate man from Austin, Texas.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the kicking team, number 25. 15-yard penalty.
get this straightened out.
Personal foul. It's on 25 on the receiving team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
There is no 25 on the Packers. So they got the number incorrect.
Poor Richard Sherman, he's standing out there saying, hey, wait a minute.
Unless Ryan Grant has come back to the Packers or Dorsey Levens. Was it 24, Jared Bush?
Back in that. Gunner as he's running out of bounds. Momentum has changed. Green Bay has moved the ball effectively, unable to finish a drive, but been much better in the third quarter.
Going out of bounds to block is okay as a penalty. That was a correct call by the official on that one, as Rodgers gets hit out of the tackle box as he throws it away and passed or toward the line of scrimmage, so just an incomplete pass. No grounding as Alan Branch pursued.
Well, this is a shot formation, and it's a double move to Jordy Nelson. On the other side, they have Jennings working on the backside. Rodgers didn't have time to see him, but Richard Sherman gloved Jordy Nelson. And these plays take a long time to develop. And Rodgers has been hit on 3 of them tonight.
You don't have that tonight, right? With what Seattle's done defensively. From the 19, back to Benson. Met in the hole by the rookie Bobby Wagner. Pete Carroll actually recruited his high school teammate back in the day when Pete was at USC and had no interest in Wagner. Went to Utah State, was a tackling machine for his 4 years in the WAC. He comes off the field for third down. There's 3 down linemen in for Seattle. And they'll cover with 8. As Rodgers looks for a space in the zone, he's got Finley for the first down. That's the power of the arm of Aaron Rodgers.
Nice job by Aaron Rodgers stepping up and throwing the ball in a position where Finley could protect himself. And here come the Packers in the no-huddle offense.
Yeah, Seattle is late and lazy getting their pass rush group off the field. They are confused out there as Rodgers just slings it out with his short arm to Jennings and incomplete.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers can't believe he missed that throw. Really disgusted with himself. He uses the turbo tempo. They get up on the ball. They snap it before Seattle is ready. And out of this naked bootleg, there's nobody home. He's got Jennings wide open for an easy first down. Back to the 2-back set, 2 tight ends. This has been very good running formationally for Green Bay tonight.
32, Rodgers, the pressure up the middle from Clemens, who tried to draw the holding flag as he went down, and the pass is incomplete on that far side. What a push as Clemens was double-teamed, John.
Well, he sure was, and you're going to see Newhouse working against them. Clemens goes to the inside, and left guard T.J. Lang helped them out late. Once again, Browner. Hands to the face is what Green Bay wants. A lot of physical play everywhere on this field tonight.
3rd and 10. They bring a 4th defensive lineman in, and they blitz Rodgers, who gets rid of it. And James Jones hangs on for the first down at the 45-yard line.
Second big catch James Jones has made tonight. That takes guts to go inside and catch that ball and know that Earl Thomas is going to lay the wood. Good pass protection. Watch Earl Thomas, the safety, break on this throw. Great concentration by a veteran wide receiver, James Jones.
We always talk about the guts of the quarterback. Sacked 8 times. How about Rodgers hanging in with Bruce Irvin ready to hit him?
Great stuff.
Couple of third downs picked up on this drive as Benson goes left, chased down by K.J. Wright. Loss of about 4 yards.
It's his second tackle for loss. K.J. Wright is going to be an emerging star, I believe, in this league. He's going to see the stretch play to his left, He finds the lane. He runs through there and makes a nice open field tackle. That's just good run defense by Seattle. Heads up play by K.J. Wright, pulling off a horse collar right there, Mike.
So much for the 10% chance of precipitation tonight. Lisa Salters tells us starting to drizzle down on the field. 2nd and 13. Finley can still go. Hasn't been touched yet. He's a couple of yards shy of the first down. He gets the extra yards on that roll to the 47, setting up 3rd and 2.
I don't know how Aaron Rodgers can contort his body and throw these passes. Watch how he gets rid of this one. I mean, these are all just built-in sight adjustments. They're not against the blitz. He sees his fellow Packers uncovered. Catch and release. Nobody better than that.
All short stuff. Only one pass to a target 20 yards downfield tonight. And that rocket off Finley's hands, but a pass interference flag is thrown on Cam Chancellor, the safety.
Well, he thought he timed it just right. Chancellor knows this route tree, this quick slant pattern.
Pass interference, 31 on the defense. Spot foul, first down.
You know, these pass interference calls have to jump off the screen at you to be called, Mike. That's a terrible call in this situation, I believe. Pass interference calls should call themselves. They ought to be obvious to everybody on the officiating crew to make that call. That's not good.
Again, that's the speed of the game that these current officials replacing the veterans are needing to adjust to. 3rd time this half that a penalty on Seattle has kept a Green Bay drive going with the 3rd down flag. Rodgers looking for that shot downfield again. It's covered, so he throws it toward Nelson. It was well covered. Seattle has not given Rodgers any chance to get it deep downfield.
James Jones is exhausted. He and Richard Sherman are having, I mean, it's a one-on-one battle at the bottom of the screen. That time they're looking for a sharp post pattern again off play action, and Richard Sherman and James Jones are going at it. Here they go one more time. Look at Jordy Nelson and Brandon Browner. This is the most fun I've had in a long time up here, Mike.
From the 39, another Rodgers rocket is a first down for Jones in front of Sherman.
This is two of the best at what they do. The old back shoulder fade. Sherman knew it was coming. It's the Green Bay Packer form of a cut-up. He's going to act like he's going right by him, ball thrown on the back shoulder perfectly. Hard to defend.
Seattle has 2 3-and-outs in this half. Green Bay has had the ball the entirety of the half, but those 6 plays. 13-play and a 10-play drive for a field goal.
He wants Jones again at the bottom of the screen.
Working on Richard Sherman. Looked that way, now comes back to the other side. And it's Cedric Benson brought down by the safety Chancellor at the 21-yard line.
Well, you can feel that coming.
Look at a wrestling match going on in the end zone, 20 yards away from the play. Jordy Nelson is not the one involved. He ran down there to try to break it up as Brandon Browner was involved with Greg Jennings. There was no flag thrown until the very end of the sequence.
Take a look at it, what happens down the field. That's a cheap shot. I don't blame Jennings for being upset with that.
And I don't see a flag out by the 5-yard line, meaning I didn't see the officials get that cheap shot. And Greg Jennings told Lisa yesterday, he's like, I hate bumping, I don't like bumping run coverage. I hate guys touching me as I'm trying to get my release off the line. And the cheap shot, he reacted.
Fouls. Personal foul. Defense number 39. Personal foul. Offense number 85. Offset. 2nd down.
And that's only because that's all they saw. They missed the first egregious foul on Browner.
Well, Brandon Browner was the most penalized defensive player in the league last year. We know that. He's an outstanding football player. Pro Bowler, 6 interceptions, 2 returned for touchdowns. He doesn't need to do that to prove he's an outstanding bump and run Pro Bowl corner. Keep your poise. It's the end of the football game. Composure is as important as anything right now.
On 2nd and 4, Rodgers. Kuhn out of the backfield. Here goes John to the 11-yard line. First down, Green Bay.
They have about 10 different ways Seattle does of playing a 3-deep zone. But they're not taking care of these checkdowns, and that's where Aaron Rodgers has gone repeatedly tonight. That's a great sign of discipline by the MVP, Aaron Rodgers, taking what is given.
By my count, this is the 43rd play of the half. The 37th run by Green Bay. It's Rodgers throwing as his receiver slipped. And we just told you it started misting about 7 minutes ago, and Jennings fell down.
Take a look at it. It's going to be a sprint protection to Rodgers' right. Just a simple two-man combination between Nelson and Jennings, and that's what happens when you don't practice. He missed a lot of training camp, has missed a lot of action. Greg Jennings has.
Longest drive of the night, 14th play. And from the 11, Rodgers. Irvin got off the edge. Rodgers, he's rolling, pumping, throwing to Jennings, who slips but gets in for the touchdown.
This quarterback, for him to get hit as many times as he got hit in the first half and to come out here and put a show on like this, that's why he is the MVP of pro football. Bruce Irvin, the first-round draft choice, is off to the races. Rodgers steps up and flushes to his right. Great work by Jennings, keeping it alive. Packer football.
Gotta watch
Second
Jennings'
reaction
foot.
play.
Gotta watch Jennings' foot on the sideline here. There's a scoring play. It automatically gets reviewed. He's out of bounds there. The question is, where is the ball at that point? It's just scored on the field as ruled by the officials. Automatically replay. He's out right there. That ball looks to be short of the goal line.
The previous play is under review.
Right there is a great look at it. But it would be a first down for the Packers. Touchdown for now, but it might be overturned in replay. You saw the Space Needle, iconic shot in this beautiful city, and our aerial coverage from Seattle tonight is brought to you by DirecTV. All right, let's go to this replay being looked at by Wayne Elliott. Will the touchdown on the field look to be a yard short? Might be enough for a first down. Here's Wayne.
After further review, the runner steps out of bounds. The ball will be placed at the 1 1/4 yard line. It'll be third down.
The 1 1/4 means it's going to be 3rd and 1/4 of a yard. As ruled.
Heavy personnel by both teams. Watch the splits of the offensive line, how tight they are as they try to wedge this ball for a half a yard right into the teeth. The strength of this Seattle defense. Mebane, Branch, Red Bryant. Don't put it past Mike McCarthy to run a play-action pass, Mike.
He does run play action. John Rodgers scrambling, heaving, and he stopped, reached it forward, but the mark has him short of the first down.
Clinton McDonald, a very active inside tackle. Makes a great play, and this is going to be an interesting spot. You're going to see a corner route here to DJ Williams. The fullback's in the flat, and McDonald comes from inside out right at the stripe.
Wow, what a good play. The rookie Bobby Wagner, along with the fourth-year man McDonald, they are short. So what do you do now? 7-6, field goal gives you the lead.
Well, Seattle has -1 total yards in the second half. I'd be surprised if Mike doesn't kick this and get the lead. It's been a long night. That's just what he's going to do.
That has been officially ruled, by the way, a sack for no yards. So that's technically the 9th sack for Seattle. We'll try to get the lead out of this. Remember, they went with the fake field goal 11 days ago against the Bears, but just take the lead here in all likelihood with Mason Crosby, who's kicked 2 field goals tonight. And a challenge by McCarthy of the spot here with 9:09 to go. So Mike McCarthy is going to challenge the spot on that. We'll get another look at Rodgers as he tried to reach it out. Keep an eye on his elbow when we go look at the replay on this spot. Be right back. Taking a couple of looks at this with Jerry Austin, the veteran NFL referee. Jerry, we're watching. We looked at the elbow initially on the first look at the replay, but now let's watch the knee on this Rodgers replay.
And that makes it closer than we first anticipated. When the elbow touches, and then he extends the ball. If they back it up just a little bit, it's got to be, without a doubt, made the first down in order to overturn the ruling on the field of being short.
At that angle, you can piece information together. That angle shows you that the hand was down, not the wrist or the elbow. So that angle that you saw helped determine that the knee is what you're looking at. And then the second part was, where was he as he reached out when the knee came down? And that yellow line of ours is not official.
After further review, the player reached the first down marker. First and goal from the 1-yard line. The clock will start on the ready.
Well.
It was a great challenge by Mike McCarthy down there as he was making the decision, field goal or not.
How about the effort? What we're losing sight of is the effort by this quarterback. Give it to him. Let's see what happens now. First and goal at the 1-yard line.
And, you know, I've always wondered, the official, when he looks at the replay, does see the yellow line that we show as we watch exactly what they see in that monitor this year up on the screen in the stadium. That angle he was looking at did show the yellow line, although it's unofficial, and they know that. First and goal for the Packers, who've controlled and dominated this quarter and can now take the lead. And it's Benson. Rodgers signaling touchdown. They're running from the side and signal touchdown, Green Bay.
This might be reviewed as well. Great second effort by Cedric Benson. Reverse pivot, and they slam this ball right behind number 71, Josh Sitton.
He's laying across bodies there as he breaks the plane, so that's a touchdown.
Great effort by Cedric Benson. He's been a big factor in this second half.
And they'll go for 2 with a 12-7 lead once that touchdown is confirmed. And it has been as the referee blows it ready for play. Packers 1 for 1, going for 2 in the first 2 weeks of the season.
Bottom of the screen, Jermichael Finley on a high point fade. Be alert for it.
Rodgers goes left, and it's broken up by Browner.
Oh, you pick your poison. You throw it to James Jones against Browner. You throw it to Finley against Sherman. That time Browner's up to the challenge.
The Seahawks have only run 6 plays in this half. The Packers have 12 points in the lead. Well, amazing numbers. 3 drives for Green Bay. They haven't been able to get Seattle off the field, and they've regulated the pass rush with the run. Meantime, the Seahawks have had it twice, and they've gone 3 and out both times, John.
Yeah, Seattle's going to need to find some Skittles and feed this beast Marshawn Lynch or something. They've got to find some offense if they want to have a chance to win this game.
Mason Crosby kicking off. Washington had no head of steam, so Leon takes a knee. They'll take over at the 20.
You know, these second reaction plays, they practice these in training camp. They got a horn that blows off after 2.6 seconds. And when that horn goes off, they train these Packers and this quarterback to make a play. And off Rodgers goes. He extends the play to 4.78 seconds. And that's where a lot of Green Bay Packer offense comes from. That quarterback with these receivers on second reaction plays. I can't tell you how much respect I have for him and how he's played in the second half after being hit like he was in the first 30 minutes tonight.
Can this offense get anything going? Russell Wilson again running for his life. Pass deflected and intercepted on the sideline by Jerron McMillan. What a reaction play off the tip by the 4th-round pick out of Maine. And you see Kevin Green, the outside linebacker coach. But there's a flag down as Wilson was being chased. Did Walden rough him?
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback. Defense number 93. 15-yard penalty, first down.
They run a bootleg away from Clay Matthews, and it's a good thing. And Eric Walden is in hot pursuit. Let's take a look at this. Here comes Walden. I just don't see these.
There's the tip off the hand of Evan Moore. McMillan made the play, got 2 hands down, inbounds, but boy, he's running out of the pocket. You talk about going low on a quarterback, but that's a tough one. First down of the half, and Marshawn Lynch with the carry for 6 as Ryan Pickett makes the tackle.
Look into the eyes of Marshawn Lynch right now. This is what he's known for. He's one of the great closers in pro football. There's not a lot of backs that have been featured on the tapes I've seen this year, but Marshawn Lynch is one of these backs that has vision, incredible determination, and they're going to feed him here at crunch time.
There is Lynch moving forward, so Seattle gets its second first down, first one not by penalty after a gift. A gift of a first down by flag on that roughing the passer.
Well, Green Bay's drive was kept alive by a questionable pass interference on Cam Chancellor. I agree with you, Mike. There have been a lot of penalties tonight. But has been pointed out very clearly is react to the calls that are made. Try to keep your poise. Easier said than done.
Wilson only 5 of 11 passing in the game tonight. In trouble. Trying to create something here. And on the run for a first down or more. Slides down at the 42. Kept it alive for 13.
Left tackle Russell Okun is wondering, where is Russell Wilson? And when is he going to throw this ball? He's blocking Clay Matthews for about 11 seconds on this play. Russell Wilson shows good field vision. Nobody's open. Another big first down. He's using his feet to keep a lot of plays alive tonight. This is where they took a shot in the first half for the big score to take.
And they've come back with an extra offensive lineman again here. Lynch almost bobbled the handoff. And Sam Shields chases him down from the corner. Get him a yard, another flag down. Seattle already penalized a dozen times here tonight.
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
John Russell Okun, the tackle, was blocking on that last play.
Okun's had a lot of problems with penalties early in this season, and that's a big one right there. Let's take a look at what happens. He and Clay Matthews have been going at it. Seattle's down some receivers. Braylon Edwards went to the locker room.
Here's Lynch running right. A.J. Hawk's going to bring him down. Another flag coming in from deep. Back Judge throwing that one.
I'll tell you, Mike. Self-control.
Holding. Offense wide out number 87. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Ben Obamanu, the wide receiver. And there have been some questionable calls that we've pointed out, but there have been a lot of Seattle-induced mistakes, self-induced mistakes in this game.
Yes, there have. And I don't believe we have the penalty on Ben Obamanu. But it's important Seattle tries to get half of it back.
Yeah, 14 flags or 118 yards. Wilson throwing towards Sidney Rice. He battles with Sam Shields. And which way will this pass interference be called?
We've got a penalty on every play.
Yep. There were 4 in a row. But Charles Woodson is trying to negotiate it to go against Rice. And from the reaction of the players, it will be on Shields of the Packers. But there's a long conversation going on here.
Take a look at it. I think it's on Sidney Rice. I don't even believe they're going to call this on Sam Shields.
Pass interference. Defense number 37. Spot foul. First down.
Well, I know they want self-control. They don't want your emotions to take over, but that's not defensive pass interference, and I've studied it a long time as well, Mike. There's no way that's on Sam Shields.
The right hand of Sidney Rice on 1st and 25, a 32-yard penalty. He comes and pulls the shoulder pad of Sam Shields.
It's a 12-7 game, and that was 1st and 38. Critical penalty.
It is making it hard to watch every game. 1st and 10 for the 25, Wilson. He throws. It's caught. Hawk with the tackle of the tight end. Zach Miller, gain of 7. This is what you're talking about, John. Look at the S of Shields as he gets pulled by the right hand. If anything, that's the most egregious contact on the play there. You see where Shields' hands are.
Right. I used to do this for a living, and I had very little self-control. I'm about to jump out the press box on that call.
It's a 32-yard penalty. You wonder at some point as you watch these games, when will the owners speak up? And the coaches go to the owners and say, guys, it's really affecting your product. At some point, I know the Packers are publicly owned, but somebody's got to speak up. It's bad. Lynch with the carry. Fighting for first down yardage to the 15. And you want to stay focused on the game, but again, just that overall reminder, the officials are doing the best they can. They're swimming in very deep water, and now the players have to look at that play's gone. There's 5.5 left. Tom Cable, the former Raider coach, is the offensive line guru of this running game.
They might be in 4-down territory here. Here's a 3rd down and 1. Yep. Remember, Russell Wilson pulled this ball out of Marshawn Lynch's chest and kept it several times in the preseason for big games.
Yes.
It's either the give or the quarterback boot, if you ask me.
3rd and 1, looking straight option. Wilson got his foot stuck to the ground as DJ Smith was waiting. And it's snuffed out. Now what does Pete Carroll do with 4:53? His offense hasn't been able to stop the Packers at all.
They ran an option play, a fullback belly option. They're going to fake the ball to Robinson and come down the line of scrimmage and option an outside linebacker. Didn't fool anybody. Pete Carroll's going for it. Well, I was surprised by that call. You have one of the premier backs in football, mobile quarterback. Gutsy call, backfired.
No trust that the defense can stop him. They go for it on 4th and 2. And Lynch pounds forward. Second effort, Marshawn Lynch. First down, Seattle.
That's an old-fashioned football player right there. Let's see the spot. It's a slant play off the left. This is 95% Marshawn Lynch's will to get the first down. Raji hanging on top of him. Here comes number 42, Morgan Burnett. Walden diving in the pile. What a great effort.
Feet kept churning. All the Skittles. His mom used to give him Skittles before Pop Warner games. And that story has been out and is stuck here in Seattle. It's a play pass. Wilson. Just second short to Zach Miller. Got 4, the tight end, formerly of the Raiders, to the 10-yard line.
Bunch formation. We talked about tight end usage. They have 3 tight ends in the football game. Off goes Clay Matthews. But take a look at these 3 tight ends, and you're going to see a bootleg, and they're going to just hide number 86, Zach Miller, who sneaks out of the trash for a little check down to create a 2nd and 6.
Matthews threw his shoe, so that's why he's off. He doesn't appear to be injured. Lynch has no place to go, and A.J. Hawk comes and cleans up the good work of Eric Walden. He got the penalty earlier in this drive. Matthews back with 2:50 remaining.
And Remember, Seattle was in this situation in the first game of the year against Arizona.
Yes.
They were right here in the tight red zone with 5 chances to win the game. They even got an extra timeout. Let's see what play Darrell Bevel goes to. Braylon Edwards out of the game. Their leading receiver, Baldwin from last year, not active tonight. Sidney Rice at the bottom of the screen.
Covered by Sam Shields. Wilson goes the other way on the slant. It's caught by Golden Tate. Quick tackle by the rookie, Casey Hayward. We'll have another 4th down, and Seattle will take it down to the 2-minute warning to talk about it.
What a play by a rookie corner. Closing and making a tackle that prohibits any run after the catch. Great work.
4th and 3 with the game on the line when you come back after the 2-minute warning in Seattle.
What's up, Stuart Scott with my man Tama right here with the Bird coming up on the GMC postgame report. Drew Brees criticizes replacement officials. Miguel Cabrera continues his chase for the Triple Crown. And Aaron Rodgers highlights of him not being sackless in Seattle. Mike?
All right, Stuart, thank you. We have 4th down. And the game on the line here. Seattle has 2 timeouts. Braylon Edwards, who went to the locker room earlier, back out on the field. This is a Seattle team that did not get a first down this entire second half until this drive, kept alive by a roughing the passer penalty on an interception by the Packers. Fourth and 3, the pressure's on. Wilson lofting it up for Tate, couldn't come down with it. And the Packers take over on downs with 1:54 remaining.
Dom Capers comes with an all-out blitz. Seattle came with an empty backfield, no backs in the backfield, and Dom Capers checks to an automatic all-out blitz. Here they come, forces Russell Wilson to get rid of the football. He's got one-on-one coverage.
For the game,
Shields, Casey Hayward got it done.
The game's not over. Seattle uses its timeouts and they stop Green Bay. They can still get the ball back. The 4th down play not executed by the Seahawks offense.
We got no route distribution. It's going to be an all-out blitz, and Russell has no choice but to get rid of the football, but there's 2 Seattle Seahawks. I don't know if Tate is supposed to keep running. There's no separation. I think the ball was intended for Sidney Rice. That's just bad execution at the end of a ball game.
Oh, in the backfield, Benson busted up. The ball comes out. We have no ruling. It's down. It's a fumble and recovered by the Packers back at the 1. And Seattle has to take a timeout here at 1:45. Oh, my goodness. Brandon Browner sweeping in. Caused that fumble on Benson. His hand was down. He never went down, so the play was still alive. And then Earl Thomas coming in, ripped it out. And Jeff Saturday, playing his 200th NFL game, was on the spot for the recovery. So Green Bay keeps the ball. The play took 9 seconds. Since Seattle is now down to 1 timeout, they can get the ball back. They're going to lose 5 seconds of get the ball back time there, but they almost had it at the 1.
Well, let that be a lesson to you. Backed up inside your own 5-yard line in this situation, you better take care of both edges. Strong safety blitzes, free safety blitzes, and don't forget corner blitzes. Brandon Browner from the left side of your screen comes screaming off the left side. John Kuhn never saw him. If you're a fullback, a tight end, or a tackle in this situation, expect edge pressure. Be shocked if they don't bring it again.
How about Saturday, and there were 3 Seahawk defenders. And his 200th game comes up with his 10th career fumble recovery. Again, if they don't pick up the first down, Seattle can get the ball back right around 54, 53 seconds. Rodgers trying to get Finley, who's made a mental mistake here, to the right spot. Here comes the pressure, trying to trap him for a safety. Benson gets to the 2. Seattle uses 4 seconds on the play, gets a timeout. 1:41 left. If you're remembering back, they used that other timeout that they'd love to have right now when Aaron Rodgers went quick turbo tempo with the offense and they were caught with the wrong personnel on the field.
Take a look at the run defense. It's going to be a stretch play to the right. Here comes Earl Thomas, a Pro Bowl safety on the backside. Leroy Hill, Thomas, Chancellor. Ball security has been an issue with Cedric Benson. He's had 12 fumbles in the last 2 years. One of the reasons why he is a Green Bay Packer. And Seattle knows that, Mike. They know he's had trouble hanging on to the ball. He hasn't as a Packer. But if he can continue to hang on to the rock and knock this ball across the 5-yard line and leave Matt Stay some room to punt it, be a real feather in his cap. Ball security's got to be the #1 priority right here for Cedric Benson, because Seattle's going to do everything they can to rip it out of his chest.
Seahawks out of timeouts, 3rd and 15. Try to draw him 5 extra yards, and they give it to Kuhn, the fullback, who goes to the 4. So that 40-second clock kicks in now. And Green Bay will probably take all the time, perhaps call timeout when they max the timeout. The clock will say 00 with 57 seconds left, and now Leon Washington will go back to accept a punt. And that's why you work on clock management. Seahawks could get it with about 50 or 49 left. No timeouts and needing a touchdown.
Danger punt situation, and look at the people Pete Carroll's putting back out on the field here. I see Alan Branch. Big bodies. Here comes Earl Thomas and Chancellor.
All right, so the Packers take the timeout at 57 seconds here to maximize the amount of time. And it'll be 4th and 13 in the punting situation. And let's think back to the start of the last game here when special teams for Seattle had a huge impact. They forced Dallas to fumble the opening kickoff and then blocked the first punt of the Cowboys.
And in the opening game of the season, Leon Washington took a punt back over 50 yards. He took a kickoff back over 80 yards. And in this danger punt situation, this ball has to come out quick. There could be a premier punt return opportunity for Leon Washington. And if you look at Richard Sherman down here at the bottom of the screen and Brandon Browner at the top of the screen, they have 2 big-time hold-up guys on the outside. They're trying to set Washington up for the play of the year right here for Seattle.
How do you make this decision to go for the block or the return?
I'm playing for the return.
Washington is back. Nastay, the punter, gets it away. Washington getting it on the run with space at the 45. Leon Washington has a block. Looking for the sideline. Now circling back, wasting valuable time. He got nothing out of the return. And so they get it back with 46 seconds remaining.
Well, Seattle came with an all-out block, and Richard Sherman totally vacated his gunner and came off the corner to try to block this punt. Watch him sneak in here and lay out and try and win the game for Seattle. A little surprised they didn't give Leon a little hold up on the outside. Gutsy call once again by this Seahawk coaching staff. Russell Wilson, no timeouts. Incomplete passes do not hurt you. A sack will kill you. Obviously, he's going to try to work this ball in a maximum protection down the field. I just am surprised they're going with a no-back set.
See if the Packers can generate the pass rush. 46 seconds left. Worthy pushing up the middle. Wilson throwing down the middle for the tight end. Incomplete with no flag coming in.
Evan Moore is a tight end that has down the field receiving ability. He's clearly the target that Russell Wilson is going to look to in this situation. Let's take a look at Charles Woodson, I should say, in man-to-man coverage. That looked like PI if there was PI.
Because Woodson never really came back to the ball, and Moore was trying to find his hands through. They've told Russell Wilson, throw it up there for him. He's 6'6" and a half, the tight end Moore. 2nd and 10, 41 seconds left. Again, a 3-man rush. And a Wilson rocket is caught by Rice at the 24. Out of timeouts, you can kill it at about 27 here. Hustle to the line. Wilson ready for the snap. Now they're going to have a shotgun. They're going to not kill it. Wilson pumping. Lofton for Golden Tate. Sam Shields the coverage incomplete. 18 seconds left.
Nice play by Sam Shields. Got to keep this ball on the field of play and let your receiver have a chance to go up and get it. second big play in the last 3 minutes of this game by Sam Shields. Ball's on the right hash. I expect Seattle to flood the wide side, the left side of this formation with Seahawk receivers. Here they come. 3 to the left, 2 to the right, and look for number 82, Evan Moore, down the seam.
Again, the three-man rush. Wilson standing in, throwing down the seam, and threw it out of the back with nothing open to live to have 2 more shots with 12 seconds. John referenced it earlier, the opening week loss against Arizona, as Seattle got so close and had so many opportunities. And Russell Wilson said of that very long drive where they couldn't find the touchdown, 18 plays, said it's just a matter of an inch here, an inch there. And we've got to find somebody to make that play. Otherwise, Seattle might be going for 3-0 on this drive.
Again, 3 receivers to the wide side.
Still the 3-man pressure. Wilson throws into traffic for Tate. Incomplete. And again, M.D. Jennings over there on coverage, and we're down to 1 play with 8 seconds left.
And all you can do now is put the ball in the end zone. We saw Hail Mary strike yesterday. Detroit hit one against Tennessee to give themselves a chance. Sidney Rice, Evan Moore, flood a section of the end zone with as many Seahawks as you can and give someone a chance.
Rice is 6'4", Moore is 6'6". They're all to the right. Tate's the lone receiver to the left. The Packers playing at the goal line as Wilson scrambles to keep it alive. The game's final play is a Wilson lob to the end zone, which is fought for by Tate with Jennings simultaneous. Who has it? Who they give it to? Touchdown! One guy goes up, touchdown. The other said no time. Has to be looked at because it's a score. Still have an official down there in the pile looking.
It's Russell Wilson.
They're fighting down at the bottom of the pile with Jennings still down there. Tate off the pile with the ball. We must have a definitive call. There was one touchdown signal. The Seahawks have won.
Previous play is under review.
You can't go to replay to determine who caught the ball. So that call has to be made on the field. You see the one guy go up touchdown and the other go tied out like it's a pick.
How does M.D. Jennings not get credit for the interception? I have no idea.
It looks like Jennings has the ball there. Let me bring in Jerry Austin. Very interesting. Seattle's in celebration mode here.
They go high. Jennings has the ball. He's bringing it in. When he gets to the ground, he's got it against his body, and Tate then pulls it away.
He's got 2 hands on it. The other one looked like it was a Jennings ball. But this official here, Jerry, goes up and signals touchdown. And see the other one going with that signal you would give for an interception, correct?
A touchback, yes.
This is the most bizarre sequence you'll ever see at the end of the game. Let's watch the feet of Jennings. They're certainly inbounds. He had more of the ball as he comes down. And like you said, it's against his body.
Golden Tate gets away with one of the most blatant offensive pass interference calls I've ever seen. M.D. Jennings intercepts the pass, and Tate's walking out here as the player of the game.
And
unbelievable.
By rule, there must be an extra point try.
Aaron Rodgers is trying to figure out what's going on. The Packers are back on their sideline. The Seahawks have been moved back. They're now clearing the field.
Mike McCarthy's not going to believe this one. Watch Golden Tate push off. He's going to run down the field. He's going to push off and give himself a chance to play the ball. They rarely call OPI on the last play of the game. We've been saying that for years. But Tate is going to push off on Shields. And for the life of me, I don't know how M.D. Jennings doesn't have credit for an interception.
To me, it feels like a Jennings interception. And they're fighting with both hands on the ball. And, Jerry, you said the ball's kind of pressed to the chest of Jennings.
Yes, Jennings has the ball in his arms to his chest. Now, Tate has hands on the ball, but Jennings has the ball to his body. And it appears to me that would be an interception.
Can you go? So here comes the referee now. Has looked at it under the hood. This is deciding who wins the game on this
After
call.
further review, the call on the field stands. Touchdown. Game is over.
Seahawks win in the most bizarre finish you'll ever see. You need to try an extra point. The game is not over. Rule the touchdown. They must try a conversion at extra point. And the Packers are saying, hey, go get out of here. We feel like we just got jobbed. We're not coming out for an extra point. Lisa's standing with Russell Wilson. So, Lisa, you go ahead first.
Russell, what happened on that last play?
Well, guys just made a play. You know, offensive line gave me enough time. We practice that all the time, and Golden Tate came up with a big play. Never give up, man. That's what I told the guys before we went out there. We got time. Defense made a huge stop and gave us an opportunity. And we capitalized in front of our crowd.
What was going through your mind, not knowing if it was going to be a touchdown, play was reviewed? What was going through your mind?
I had a feeling it was going to be a touchdown. We came too far not to be a touchdown. I knew it was. I just had a feeling, and we never gave up. That was a huge opportunity for us to beat the Packers right there.
The offense struggled for most of the game. When you got the ball back with 40-something seconds left in the game, what was your mindset?
Just give us an opportunity. Leon did a good job of getting the ball back to where we could make a play, and we just capitalized, kept moving the ball down the field, took some shots. Coach Carroll's done a great job of making us do that all week, ever since training camp and everything, of just 2-minute situations. Hardly any time left on the clock, and we came up big.
He was fired up. I saw him hug you twice. What did he say to you?
He said, great job not giving up. That's what you're here for. And we're blessed to have this opportunity. It's a huge win for us.
Thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you. Go Hawks.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Now, Green Bay has left the field. This reminds me of a Buffalo game in New England where I think it was the Patriots that left. It was the Bills that left. And then Adam Vinatieri kicked an extra point, ran it in for a 2-point conversion. Seattle will have to go try a 2-point conversion by rule. However, we're watching the officials walk off the field to the right, to our left, as the Packers walk off to our right. The ref just asked Mike McCarthy at midfield about it, and McCarthy said, forget it. And he took off with his team, so they will not try the extra point. This is another rule mistake in enforcement in this entire fiasco of a referee situation. The Seahawks walk away with the win. They're on now with the communicator. They're going to bring the Seahawks back, I believe.
They should give them the game. They should give Green Bay the game is what they should do.
Yep.
There's no way Green Bay should fly 6,000 miles home after losing a game like this. That's what instant replay's for. I don't like the way this game finished. I have a bad taste in my mouth.
And Wayne Elliott's on the communication with upstairs because they're in the communication with the league office to get the rule properly. Let's go back to the play again as Wilson kept it alive, John.
Well, it's pass interference. We talked about that on Golden Tate. He gets away with it, clearly. And I thought Jennings had the interception.
And you have always told us, John, offensive pass interference is almost never called on these Hail Mary plays.
Exactly right. Green Bay is going to have a hard time getting over this, not just because of this play, but it was 1st and 30. They called a terrible pass interference call on Sam Shields against Sidney Rice. And then to lose a game on 2 plays like this, I've never seen anything like it. Too much at stake, too much hard work. Tragic.
You see, it feels like Jennings has more of the ball than Tate does at that point, just as you look at it there. Now the referee is running back as you watch one more look at this replay for this meaningless extra point that they're still trying to figure out if they need to perform or not. I'm going to bring Jerry Austin back in here for a second. Jerry, let's talk about the rule of simultaneous possession in a play. Simultaneous possession always go to the offense, even if the defense has their hands on it first.
That's correct. If it's simultaneous, that means both players are possessing the ball. But on this, Jennings is going
Jennings is going for the ball.
Jennings is going the ball. He brings it to his chest. All Tate has on it is one arm. And then the official comes in and rules touchdown.
But Pete Carroll is right down there, and now he's down on the field with Lisa.
Thank you, Mike. Pete, have you ever seen anything?
Hey, Chris, give me 11.
Just a minute, Mike.
But he's saying get me 11 guys because they're making him come back and do the extra point. Go ahead.
Just tell me what happened.
Yeah. The rule is you have to finish the game, so we have to kick the extra point. It happened to us years ago in New England against Buffalo. So these guys got to come back out and kick it without them on the field. That's just the rules. I don't know where the officials took off. I don't know what to tell you. But we'll do it.
The last play of the game. How did that? Tell me about the last play.
Well, we had a protection to keep Russell alive, so we have 2 or 3 looks and see where we want to put the football, and it's just total desperation. And he went to a guy that can really make things happen. Golden Tate did a great job to make that play for us.
I saw you hug Russell twice. What did you say to the kid?
Well, this is what it is. He's got to make things like this happen if he's going to be big time, which he is, and he will.
So now you're going to kick a point after with no one on the field.
Yeah, I'm going to go down and watch it. Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Lisa. The Packers are being told that they need to send some folks back out here, and they're not getting the greatest response, I would imagine, at this point. You have some Packers coming out with their helmets on for this. I've got to wonder if this play, John, we've said all the way through this, got to play through plays, got to play through this play or that play. When it impacts the end of a game and the outcome of a game, is this the impetus to change this lockout situation? We don't know. Time will answer that. But offensive pass interference, an apparent interception, simultaneous possession, a lot of things going on.
Here comes some Green Bay Packers back on the field. This is comical to me, really. Mike, I tell you, that's two of the worst calls at the end of a football game I can remember.
I agree with you, John. Just to get to the real specifics of the rule, it's not a simultaneous catch if a player gains control of the ball first, and then the opponent, Jerry, subsequently gains joint control. So if Jennings had it first, and then you have simultaneous possession, coming down to the ground with control would be the key factor there on if it's simultaneous possession or not. Now the Packers are coming back out, and they've brought 11 players out for this cosmetic-only extra point.
I've lost controversial games in the past, and controversy is one thing, but to me this is another.
There was no time in the clock, so there's no kickoff after this. Potential for an onside kick. And the Packers are really doing a classy solid here by coming out even for this. I don't know if I could ask 11 of my guys to come out after you've been jobbed the way they have. And there is M.D. Jennings, who thought he had the game-winning play. And we're not taking anything away from Wilson or Tate or the effort they made.
Great effort
on that 4th down play.
And Russell Wilson, we all remember the Hail Mary that Michigan State dropped on Wisconsin, the heartbreak that he went through.
And now,
crazy game.
The game is over.
This will cause a stir in some houses, I tell you that.
"43 years of Monday nights, 92 years of the National Football League, and there have been some strange ones. But this one, right up there. The Seahawks are 2-1. The Packers are 1-2, and have one of the worst flights home ever. Final score in Seattle: Seahawks 14, Packers 12. With John Gruden, Lisa Salters, our entire ESPN crew, Mike Tirico saying goodnight from Seattle. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Don't worry, the conversation about this one has just begun.